and welcome to the second episode of Organized Chaos. Today we are playing a game called Force Blade Punk. We're playing it outside of its intended scenario, which is as a bunch of K-pop style rockers in apocalyptic Earth, where you're all fighting for sponsorships and glory and the best acts. And we are actually taking we're starting out in a Kraft store called Kraft Kata in the town of Lowtree. Population right around 3,500. It's got a beachfront that's really on like a nice wide flowing lake. There's no real other towns around. And here in the Kraft Kata do we find our local Stitchin' Bitch. But with Kraft Kata, we aren't wedded to one singular type of craft. We invite all crafts to come and practice and share, and we will introduce the members of the local Stitchin' Bitch, starting with, let's start with Devin. Can you tell us about yourself and your character, please?
Okay, my character name is Corvandia Coco Collender. My pronouns are she, her. My craft is I am a mixed media crocheter. Think like, buttons, beads, all sorts of stuff. I put all sorts of stuff in there. My general vibe is that I'm an unassuming loner old bird lady in the park. Think like tuppence a bag. I wear a weird number of crocheted shawls, and sometimes I am pulling one of those grocery carts full of items.
And you use that in your mixed media and stuff like that.
Yes.
Love it. And how about Derek? Introduce us to your character, please.
Bringing out your notes. I'm not bringing out
my notes. I wasn't prepared.
And I was. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I'm Ishkoat. He, him pronouns. Stoic and tenacious. Would like to do the right thing, but I believe that there's no right way to do it. So that's going to be interesting later on. My craft of choice is a weaving of fine assortments, blankets, shawls, what have yous.
Like on the loom?
Yes.
Okay.
So you bring a small, like a lap loom with you here, or did you like cart a bigger loom to the Stitchin' Bitch?
like a size.
A commercial grade loom.
And we deconstruct and reconstruct every time there's a Stitchin' Bitch. So yes, you have like a medium-sized.
Part and put it back together again.
Excellent. Amanda.
Hi everyone. I'm Jinx. She, they. I am just here at the local Stitchin' Bitch to crochet little hats for my lizard Hiccup. That's just what I'm here for. My general vibe is whatever this is. And I enjoy heeling around. I only wear Heelys because I like to roll around. So, why walk when you can roll?
Hey.
I have a slogan. I do not.
I am loving the temporary tattoos.
Thank you.
Just like so dope. And last but certainly not least, Emily, introduce us to your character, please.
Oh, so my character is Haven. Haven uses they, them pronouns, and they are a jeweler. So various like rings and like custom piercings and necklaces and whatever have you. I kind of like dress in like neutral tones, and which is kind of at odds with the vaporwave thing that I've just put in the background, I realized, but whatever. Yeah, so my vibe is like I'm like a pretty quiet, like blend into the background kind of person with like I don't have enough jewelry to like get the vibe I want to get across, but like think like 6 necklaces, like 20 bangles on each wrist, like 6 or 7 rings on each finger. Not any on each hand, not even because that would be impressive.
Just really
Um,
blinged out.
yeah, yeah, really, really blinged out. Yeah, and I bring a bunch of like high-end jewelry stuff whenever we have a stitching bitch, um, like tools, so that I can manipulate my methods and whatever um, while we're gossiping.
Excellent. And so while y'all are here gossiping, just, a regular everyday Stitch and Bitch, some things, that you've kind of heard around town is that there's been something sketchy going on down at the harbor. It smelled particularly bad recently. And the rich people who live down there have been complaining a lot about this smell, but like strangely no one's doing anything about it, because usually when the rich people bitch, they, shit gets done. But that's really not happening right now. What else? There's a new restaurant that just opened on Restaurant Row, not too far from where y'all are, called the Lock, Stock, and Barrel.
Ooh.
So, that might be a really interesting place to go and visit. And the main source of income, employment, what have you in the town is this giant corporation called Valerin. Valerin has a massive self-contained campus to the sort of southwest of town. It's got everything from like a small sort of school to like there's a helipad there. Pretty much anything you can think. It's like a corporation that started its own town. It's got its own zip code. So most of the people here are affiliated with Valerin in some way. But there are definitely people who just live in Valerin for whatever reason, and you tend to think they're kind of weird and stuck up because they don't ever really come to town unless it's to go out on a date or something like that. And there's a small regional airport where the local idiot Daredevil just crashed one of his Cessnas right straight into someone's house.
What's a Cessna?
Cessna is a small 2-person plane.
Okay.
Nobody was hurt, but Jinx definitely crashed into your neighborhood, like a few doors down from you, and it's been just the talk of the town. A dog ran away that nobody has been able to find, named Salem.
Oh, no.
If anybody sees Salem, it's like a really cute little chocolate lab mix. Please return Salem to Salem's owner.
Yep.
So this is kind of the topics of conversation that are happening at Kraft Kata, at the local Stitch and Bitch, when all of a sudden, in the middle of your crafting, your weaving, your macrame, crocheting, jewelry making, I should mention that Mabel is the owner of this fine establishment. And Mabel has been old for as long as anybody can remember. Like, she's just one of those people who you cannot imagine young, who like hit 40 and just went old and never changed. So how old she is, who knows? She's definitely been here for a while. She's been here for longer than any of y'all. And Mabel has a very pronounced limp, and she calls everyone things like, "Oh, dearie," and "Oh, my love." And she has gone out of her way to really make everyone feel comfortable and welcoming, and she'll never turn down a craft, even if, like, the fluff gets everywhere. Just really embrace your creativity. So Mabel is off puttering around at the counter. Y'all are all crafting and doing your thing, when all of a sudden, through the doors, crashes this, like, 15-year-old looking kid, wearing clearly some sort of school uniform with a gash on his head, and he stumbles through the door and falls sort of right at the entrance to your circular little Stitch and Bitch. And he looks up at you and goes, This isn't the gun range. Help?
Do you have any crafts? That's what we're doing here. We're crafting.
No. But they are trying to kill me.
There's no gun range here, my son.
Shit.
Also, I
Huh?
think when you go to the gun range, you're not supposed to like it's just I don't know if that could be very much help. Like you're just supposed to shoot inside of the little box.
Do you do the stabby kind of crafting with the long, pointy, stabby things? Because I need to go. If you can't help me, I really need to go. And
Well,
he starts.
Do you want somebody to patch up your head first, maybe?
They took those. They took anything electronic I had, so it's not like I can call my mom and dad. But yeah. And he starts rifling through your bags and stuff, looking presumably for pointy, stabby things.
Oh, hey! I'm a crocheter. We just got one hook. I don't know how much.
Let me find something for you. What do you need, dear?
Well, can the hook and you hear the doorbell, the ding-a-ling-ling of the doorbell go, and a gentleman walks in. He looks a little bit singed, but he is dressed in a very fine jack-booted thug outfit. He's got aviator glasses on. He's got a nice black suit on with a tie. He looks kind of like Mark Strong, but with a bit more hair than Mark Strong has. A tall, debonair gentleman, and he smiles at all of you, and he looks at the kid and says, Jonas, we've talked about this. And Jonas backs up straight into Mishkoa's loom. That's what stops him. And so Mishkoa, he's kind of jostled your weaving here, trying to get away from this man. What do y'all do?
I want to walk up and shake his hand and say, "Welcome to the Kraft, Kata. What can we do for you?"
I'll stand in front of the boy.
So Jinx moves herself in front of the boy, so he's kind of sandwiched between Mishkoa's loom. Mishkoa, what are you doing?
I'm taking in the room and ready to claim this kid as my son.
Excellent. Yes, so Haven, you walk up to this gentleman with your hand outstretched. And do you introduce yourself by name, or do you just say,
I just say, "What can we do for you?" Yeah.
He smiles at you, lots and lots in teeth, and goes, "Oh, do you work here?"
No, I'm just part of the community.
I'd like to do like a once over of like what he looks like not just what he's wearing, but like what is he? Does he have anything on him? Is there anything in his pockets that we can see? Are there any weapons? That's my first instinct.
So his suit is very well cut and very well fitted, and he currently has the buttons in front buttons. You can't really necessarily see anything that jumps out or sticks out at you. But even that is strange because the suit is so well tailored that it's not off the rack tailored. I mean, it is. Government guys which is what this guy looks like. He looks like a government stooge. Cannot usually afford this nice of a suit.
He's a suit.
It's a $5,000 suit. Michael.
It's a $5,000 suit. Come on.
This is a $10,000 suit.
So
have I this person before?
no, you don't recognize this person. He has intentionally bland features. He is just a sort of milquetoast looking white dude for the most part in a very nice suit. When he smiles, he kind of feels like a shark, so maybe it's less Mark Strong and more specifically Magneto with his very shark-like grin and evil Paul Hollywood eyes. You definitely get an air of menace from him,
right,
despite the fact that he is now grinning at Haven and shaking your hand and hasn't let go. And he has a very strong handshake, the pressure of which is increasing each time that y'all shake hands. So this has turned into
I-
like handshaking one-upmanship.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I can play that game.
So you play that game. Give me a roll to play that game. So the way
Alright,
that this works is
Yeah.
each of the players roll 3d6. 1 to 3 is a failure. 4 to 6 is a success. The players get to choose which category of 3 categories the dice go in. And the 3 categories are I get what I want, I don't get hurt, and I don't feel shame. So roll your 3d6 and let us know the resulting of that and how Haven has fared.
Ooh, okay. I have 1, 5, a 2, and a 1.
Okay, this is going to be an interesting first roll.
It is. Okay, so I think. I think the. This character probably I don't want to have a mark on me, so I think I'm going to use the 5 for the I don't feel ashamed.
Okay,
And then the other
to
two.
be clear, the only people who will get marks on you are the other characters, not any NPCs.
Oh.
Yeah, so this guy won't get a
Oh,
mark
okay.
on you.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I want the 5 to be. I get what I want,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then fail.
So, so you match him shake for shake, strength for strength, and you kind of see the moment where he's like, oh, interesting. But Jinx, you definitely notice that Haven's like feeling it a little bit. You can tell that this took a little bit out of them and they weren't expecting for it to be quite so difficult to either match or overpower this person. So Jinx, you now have a mark on Haven that you can call in. And for the viewing public, a mark basically if 2 players go head to head, they get to call in a mark and they get an extra die in a roll against like a person v person roll. So you can roll 4 dice and pick your best successes. So make sure that you mark that down, that mark down. And eventually, Haven, you force Jackboot Thug Agent Man to pull back, and he smiles his shark-like grin at you and goes, well, that's lovely. Jones, we're leaving now. And the boy has managed to kind of skirt his way back to Mishkoa. And so he's now sort of even with you. And he goes, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna go not with you.
I'd like to have been making my way back around the counter, just very casually pretending to look at yarn, kind of hoping to get like an edge on the front door.
So you basically want to like get the high ground on the agent?
Yeah, I want to make sure that like he doesn't just get to run away.
The kid or the agent?
Agent.
Okay, so give me a roll to basically maneuver your way into an auspicious position.
I got a 1.
Okay, being suspicious.
Don't
5.
be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
And a 5. So I got 1 and 1 and 2 5s.
So you have 2 successes and a failure. So where do you want that failure to land?
I could get hurt.
You can get hurt.
Sure, a little bit.
Okay, so you successfully managed to maneuver yourself into a position. You don't feel any shame doing it because, like, why would you? This is very in line with your whole persona. But what ends up happening is you knock over a small stand of crafting materials and it falls on your foot and it stings, so like ow. But you successfully distract the agent long enough that Jones, the 15-year-old, decides to just like take off towards presumably the back. So
I want to run. I want to run after him.
So Jinx sees this. Mishkoa, you also see this. Do you do anything to
I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna follow the boy.
Okay, so Jinx and Mishko are gonna follow boy. Jinx, you I assume want to like dart after him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm healing, obviously.
Of course you are. Please give me the Healy roll to see how well you keep up with this boy.
See.
He's a lanky little thing, like clearly a sprinter.
Okay, I've got 2 successes and 1 failure.
Okay, where do you want that failure to land?
Let's see. I want to catch him. And I guess let's see. So what are my options? Let's see.
It's I get
So
what I
one of us
want.
could get a mark
I get what I
again.
want. I don't feel ashamed. Okay. I don't want. Yeah, I want to get what I want, and I don't want to get hurt.
Okay, so somebody's gonna get a mark on you. Mishkoa is gonna get a mark on you because y'all are trying to do this, and you see Jinx, kind of trying to Healy after this kid, and there's a moment where you think they're gonna like slam into something, but they kind of like juke it out, and it's really cool. But it would be so much cooler if they'd done it intentionally, and you know that it wasn't intentionally. So now, Mishko, you have a mark against Jinx. But you successfully catch up with the kid, and you basically hook your fingers into the kid's collar and draw him back. Mishkoa, you're walking or running after them. How do you want to make that happen? What do you want to do?
Since it's a back room, I'm assuming the kid is running towards like a back entrance where the trash might.
That's his assumption and kind of where you would assume he is also going. But given that you've been here enough, you do know there is in fact a exit to the alley back there.
So I am. Since I have this kid, I want to ask him who's the suit, and how much danger are you in?
Okay, give me a roll to see if this kid will word vomit anything useful for you.
6.
Ooh, nice.
1. 1.
So 2 failures. Where do you want your failures to lie?
I get what I want, but I'm gonna do the failures. I don't get hurt. I don't feel shame.
Okay, so you kind of like Jinx has this kid sort of collared, literally collared. Has yanked him back by his collar, and you kind of get in his face. And the kid just like straight up tries to kick you in the balls, but manages to get your knee. And you're kind of like, oh, kid, who's the suit? But Jinx sees this and is like, just your whatever mystique you may have had around Jinx has kind of been like a little bit deflated here by your sort of taciturn nature. She's kind of like, oh, this kid almost kicked you in the balls, my dude. So Jinx, you have a mark against Mishkoa.
Perfect.
And this kid looks at you and he goes, it's Agent Smith. He really wants me because I'm very smart, like you don't understand how smart I am, and they're doing very bad things, and I don't think that I should be here, and I just really would like to go home to my mom, except she doesn't. I'm not sure she loves me, but she's got to be better than here, and please, like, let me go because he is not a good guy. And then he tries to get away again, except when you turn around, there are 2 jackbooted thugs coming in through the back room they're very clearly bruisers. They're huge, they're stocky. These guys definitely have guns. They're not trying to hide them. Their suits are poorly cut. They kind of want you to see the guns. So what do y'all do?
Wait, how did they get past the end?
They came in the back.
All right.
You 2 are taking the front. You 2 are talking to the Agent Smith of it all. These 2 people come up. Clearly, they were prepared for this runaround, and Agent Smith says with his delightfully bland smile, Jones, let's go. It was a good try.
He's not going with you.
Isn't this a little much for truancy?
He's a terrorist who built a nuclear bomb.
I'm having a hard time believing that. Look, he's just a kid.
Really, a child like this can't be held responsible for that kind of thing.
To which Jones says, "Oh, no, I did. But it was a dare."
Oh, in that case. That's
Yes,
fine.
see?
So
You
just handle the bomb.
understand?
No harm, no foul. Everything's fine.
I mean, the person who dared me was like a really pretty girl too. Like,
You know,
Boy.
I feel you on that one.
How
and
many
it's not like I had plutonium.
I specifically asked you what you were doing in the garage. So you lied to me.
I do that a lot, but I don't remember lying to you specifically.
Son, we're going to have a long conversation about this when we get home.
You know this kid?
Kid, this is my son.
Oh, yeah, this is his kid.
And now Agent Smith is looking all of you like, what have I walked into? And the thugs are looking very confused. But Agent Smith just goes, take him. And both, Devin.
I was going to say, I'd like to somehow get a jump on this guy and neutralize him in some way. Can I do that?
You do have the high ground. So I'm actually going to say that you technically, in game speak, you have a mark on this guy, so you can roll 4 die.
Okay.
It's over, Anakin.
Yes.
Before we use that mark, can I clarify what So I was thinking that I wanted to plant something with that handshake.
Oh, absolutely. You can absolutely. Okay, we can do that. While Coco is rolling her die, give me a roll for planting something on
Just
Agent
single
Smith.
dice or all three of them?
No, all 3. Also, can someone check the stream and tell me if it's clear? Because I'm getting a very fuzzy stream on my end.
It looks fine to me.
Okay, good.
I got 3 successes.
Yeah, you do. So what did you plan on him? Tell us how this happened, because it happened in fuck man, it was real smooth.
Alright, so obviously I'm spending a bit of time eyeballing the guy and shaking his hand. At some point I bring my other hand in to do a double-handed shake, and I slip something just off the tip of my finger underneath the end of his suit. What do you call that? Wrist cuff. There we go. That's the word for it. So now we have a tracker on Mr. Special Secret Agent.
Ooh, a tracker.
Yeah.
Love it. So what does this tracker do? Does it just track? Does it do anything else? Because with 3 successes, you can pretty much dictate what it does.
Okay. It's also a bug, so we can listen in on tracking and so we know where he is and what he's doing.
Excellent. So we have a spy cam basically on Agent Smith here. So Agent Smith, who's currently bugged the hell up thanks to Haven, has signaled his 2 jackbooted thugs to grab Jones. Coco, you want to use the high ground, which is technically a mark against Agent Smith. Mishkoa, Jinx, what do y'all want to do in relation to these 2 thugs?
I want to kick one of them, but as they try to take the kid.
Love it.
I want to prevent them from taking me too.
So you're each going to basically take 1 thug.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then let's go in this order. Coco, give me a roll. Let's see how well you do. Remember, you get to roll 4 die.
Oh, yeah. 6, 4, 3.
So 1 failure. Where do you want that failure to land?
I want to fail to get what I want.
Which is specifically to disable him?
Yes, I think that he overpowers me.
Okay. So you take his sort of, he basically watched you be a klutz and take out this stationary object that you should have very easily avoided, and he's now kind of written you off. And so when you just like go bird lady at him, just like squawking ah! at him, you kind of like misjudge it and you roll off the front of him.
Oh no.
And you end up like you kind of go in between him and Haven.
Oh god.
And end up sort of crouched on the other side of him, looking like an absolutely bonkers person, like street person, and you're.
But you did it without feeling ashamed.
You felt no shame,
Yeah.
and you didn't hurt yourself.
You are proud of what you did, and so are we.
And at the very least, like, he's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what is this place? Why am I here? For our 2 jackboot thugs, Mishkoa, roll 3 die and tell me how well you do against your jackboot thug.
4, 5, 6.
Woo, you do great. So tell me how you do this. You get to just like subdue the shit out of this dude. He's not getting up after you're done with him.
I'm going for the classic throat punch.
Throw punch, knuckle up.
Yep.
All right, he basically like starts ambling towards you, all puffed up, like I'm a big dude, and you wait for him to get perfectly in release and perfectly calm, no flourishes, no nothing. You just bam, throat punch him, and he is down. He just like surprise on his face, down on the ground. What's your reaction? Like, do you have any final parting words, or are you just like, yeah, of course I did?
I'm gonna turn to the kid. I'll be like, so we're talking about this when we get home, right?
And Joe just kind of blinks at you because the concept of having a parent who is actually invested in him is so foreign. It's taking him a minute to catch up.
Oh no.
Jinx. Jinx, let's see how you fare against your thug.
Let's see. Oh damn, that's 3 successes.
Jinx, tell me how you Healy this man into being just regretful that he's currently alive.
So like I lean back like this, and on one heel I Healy, and I use the momentum from my other to just kind of kick him right in the balls.
Ooh, yes. You kick him right in the balls, and he just goes, and just like a tree in a forest, everybody heard fall. He goes down.
And I strike a pose.
Of course you do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You are.
I want to applaud, and also I think I want to hug Jonas because that's like.
Jones may be the tragic figure of this campaign. We'll see, because he did in fact.
Maybe.
He did.
I've
in
already
fact.
got my heartstrings tugging.
We'll see, because like Jonas did build a nuclear bomb on a dare from a pretty girl. So.
You know,
impress a girl, like we've all done.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
You know, Jinx, you're not wrong. Haven, you're gonna be a great mentor, I think, to Jones in the future. Jones, though, is now like starry-eyed for Mishkoa and Jinx. It's just looking between the two of you like, Dad, Mom?
More like a cool aunt.
He also doesn't really understand what this is, but he's willing to go with it until understanding settles in. So Agent Smith, having just watched y'all wreck his men, takes a step back and goes, well, what is this?
This is a crafting club.
Is it? Because those are 2 very highly trained personnel, and I don't see how a crafting club could have taken them down so easily. And he unbuttons.
You get all sorts of types in crafting, you know? You do. And sometimes you just need to be able to subdue people when they get rowdy after they've been having a few and then they just want to knit cozies for your head and it just needs to stop.
Agent Smith nods and goes, none of y'all do macrame, and that's the shit, bitches. And he unbuttons the buttons on his front coat, settles into a fighting position, and he looks around and then settles on you, Haven, and does the come at me, bro motion.
Oh, all
What's
right.
your response?
I just want to say, like, it's 4-on-1, and we've already taken out your thugs. Like, is this really the game you want to play?
Agent Smith looks at you and laughs and goes, fine, and attacks you.
Oh, okay, so I have to do some rolling now.
Well, what do you want your response to be? So basically the way that this works is like you get to dictate what you want your response to be, and then we roll to see how well you do in that response. So you can run away, you can throw things at him, you can actually get into a fight with him, whatever you want to, your response would be. Say what you want it to be.
Alright, I think I want to, like, dodge out of the way and kind of, like, judo throw him to the ground.
Okay.
And I have 2 successes and a failure.
All right, where do you want that failure to go?
I think I'm going to get hurt a bit. Like I think I'm going to get hurt a bit, but succeed in the throwing. So maybe I end up on the ground as well.
So, tell me again, is Haven like shorter and lither or bigger and stockier? Like, what's Haven's sort of look?
Fairly small build, yeah.
Okay, great. So what you are going to do is that really cool judo move where essentially you grab the arm, swing yourself up, and basically like monkey swing crawl around this dude until you have your legs wrapped around his shoulders, and you flip and you throw him essentially to the center of the store. But in doing so, you have to throw yourself to the floor, so your like side is a bit bruised. So when you go and use your dominant side, you know, it's a little bit like you can definitely feel it. It doesn't impede your movement now or anything like that, but you are like tender, and if somebody may pick up on that if they're fighting you, that's a weak spot. So just keep that in mind. Okay. And Agent Smith goes like sliding sort of to the center of the store and looks kind of stunned. And then all of a sudden y'all hear and Mabel rises up from behind the counter with a shotgun, a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun. And she's pointing it straight at Agent Smith, who looks at her and goes, fuck. And she goes, Kevin, what did I tell you about ever coming into my store? And Agent Smith's like,
God damn it, Kevin.
Mabel, this doesn't involve you. And she goes, well, it didn't until you involved my favorite stitching bitch.
Yay.
Kevin, I am disappointed in you. And Kevin just turns into a whiny man-child and goes, but he's dangerous, Mabes. Do y'all have anything to say to that?
I'm like, look, there was a pretty girl involved in this, okay? We all make mistakes.
Oh yeah, we're definitely doubling down on the pretty girl. Just
For
that's
sure.
Yeah.
And he looks at you and goes, that's not the reason we're after him. And then all of a sudden, a hail of bullets comes through the front of the store. So I'm going to need everyone to make rolls to make sure that you don't get hit and you basically dodge out of the way of the rain of bullets.
Shit. I have 2 failures and a success. Uh,
Might I suggest not getting hurt on this one?
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I don't get what I want, and I do feel ashamed, but I don't get hurt.
Right.
Yeah, I have 1 failure, so I will be ashamed.
Okay. Shame, shame.
And the thing that I want to do is I want to pull the kid down with me.
Okay. Devin.
So 2 failures. So I think that obviously the success has to be I get what I want.
Yes. Or no, your success should be I don't get hurt.
My what?
Your success should be I don't get hurt. Because, like, basically you can...
If I'm moving out of the way, I guess I then do get hurt.
Right, but you can also, like, add something to that, like, I try and take cover or something. So you don't get cover, because that's technically what you want, but you don't get hurt from the bullets. So if there's another spray of bullets, you would have to do it. If you can, like, get cover and not get hurt, you're safe from the bullets from future.
Okay. So I don't get hurt.
So you just don't get hurt.
Well, so I...
Think about it for a second, because we're going to go back around to narrate this scene. Mishkoa, what was your role?
1 failure.
So where do you want to put that failure?
Don't get what I want.
Okay. So, Jinx. You had 2 successes and a failure?
Yes.
Where was your failure again?
My failure was I get embarrassed because I get what I want is I want to pull the kid down too, so the kid's safe.
Cool. So you basically, like, you kind of, there's a sixth sense that you almost have where you're like, ah, shit. And you tackle the kid down. These bullets go flying over you, but Mishkoa, you get a mark on Jinx for the just absolutely spastic way in which they bear this small 16-year-old lanky boy child to the ground. So you have 2 marks on Jinx. Haven, you don't get hurt. But you just kind
I
of...
also don't get what I want, and I do get ashamed.
Right. So, Coco, who's closest to you, gets a mark on you. So, Coco, you have a mark on Haven. And was there anything else you wanted to accomplish with the darting out of the way, or did you just look to take cover so you are still exposed?
Because I'm still like...
exposed.
Okay.
Sorry, was that Haven?
So you were still exposed. You didn't find adequate cover anywhere. There's just, like, lightweight knitting crap around you, and you're like, if they have a sniper, I'm real screwed. Coco.
So I'm still over by the counter. I'd like to do my freaky bird lady vault over the counter to hide behind that and pull Mabel down with me in the same move.
Okay.
So I guess the thing is, right?
You had 2 successes and a failure, right?
Oh, my failure is that I don't feel shame.
Okay.
Wait. Does that mean that I feel shame? Yeah.
Right. So that means Haven gets a mark on you.
Okay.
So Haven has a mark on Coco. And you yank Mabel down, and Mabel looks at you and goes, "Child, no. Do I look like I need help?" And she stands right back up again with her shotgun and strides to the middle of the store, looks out of it, and just starts shooting. Mishkoa.
So what I wanted was to join with the kid, but that was what I failed at. So my plan now is to make it to the alleyway and like encourage Jinx and the kid to run with me.
Okay, so as you duck down, you're trying to like also smother the kid, except you land a little bit further than you wanted to because a line of bullets basically stops you from getting to that. You do get to see your beautiful, beautiful loom turn into firewood. So if that stokes a rage in your heart, fuck these guys. Like, how rude.
Fuck these guys.
So you now want to basically like invite, like, usher Jinx and the kid and whoever else is in the Kraft Kata out the back.
Yes.
All right, give me a roll to see how well you do that.
3.
Could you step away momentarily? We have a little animal.
4. 5.
So 2 successes.
Let's see. So I'll feel some shame on this one. I'll take that.
Okay, so Jinx, you're gonna get another mark on Mishkoa. Mishkoa, you
Perfect.
successfully, like, you basically run out the back, you check around, you see that it's clear, because apparently Agent Smith really, really overpowered the front of this and, like, deeply thought that he was just gonna be able to walk in and pull this kid out with...
Counting on those 2 agents that came back to take care of business.
Exactly. And you turn around and you're like, everybody, out the back, let's go. And so
I want to stop and rifle through the thugs stuff.
okay, so you want to stop on your, but you're headed on your way out, but you want to rifle through the thugs first. Jinx, what do you want to do?
I grab my bag and I toss a spare pair of Heelys to the kid.
Great. All right, give me a roll for that to outfit this kid in Heelys.
That's 3 successes. Pew, pew, pew!
Boom!
Great. Please describe how you accomplish this, and is there anything special about these Heelys we should know about?
These are just my spares. So like they're not as flashy as my usual. They're just bright blue. But yeah, like, so I toss them to him. I'm like, kid, let's pick it up. Let's pick up the speed. And I toss it to him. And they're all like, all of my Heelys are specially modified. They're slip-ons, so you don't gotta
Nice.
tie any laces.
Amazing. And this kid looks at them. He's like, "These are so cool." And he immediately puts them on, and y'all Heely out the door right past Mishkoa.
Let's ride.
Haven, give me a roll to rifle through these dudes' pockets, and then,
One failure, 2 success.
all right, where's that failure gonna live?
I definitely want like whatever information and whatever like firearms and whatever I can get off of them. So I want to succeed on the wanting, and I think I'm just gonna have to feel shame and do something stupid.
Coco, you get another point, a mark on Haven.
Right.
Because Haven, you did not do this in like a gainly fashion. It's very frantic. It's very like one body and then the other body and then back to the other body, and like not in a kind of sensible way. But you do come up with 2 guns, 3 knives. One of the cell phones was too shattered from the just like absolute wreckage of this person falling off it. But you have 1 locked cell phone.
A lock something. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
And then you are out the door that Mishkoa is holding for everyone.
Beautiful.
Coco, what's up? Everyone is at Mishkoa's urging going out the back door with Jones.
Just to reiterate, are all the agents dead?
None of the agents are actually...
Who's gotten hit of them? Can I check that?
Mishkoa took one down with a throat punch, and he may like quietly be asphyxiating on the floor, but like nobody.
If we're talking about Agent Spitz.
Agent Smith is currently being stood upon by Mabel, who is firing indiscriminately outside as cover fire to do this. And Kevin seems unwilling to like actually take Mabel on.
Got it. Okay.
For whatever reason.
So is Mabel just she's just shooting. Okay, so we're going out the back.
Yeah, she's shooting like she keeps popping out the shotgun, which you're like, I didn't know that shotguns could hold that many rounds. But Mabel's does. Mabel's does, and like no one's shooting back at her, so.
Wonderful. I'd like to whistle through the front window as I go, calling some birds to take care of the situation, take some bullets, help. As I follow everybody else out the door.
All right, please roll to let us know how well your bird summoning goes.
Oh no. Failures.
Where do those failures live?
Dear God. I want the success to be that I get what I want. I'll get hurt. I'll take a bullet maybe. Or I don't know. You tell me.
So you summon the birds. You grab the last remnants of your special bird seed mix from your bag, which you grab on your way out, and you sprinkle it around and you make the bird call. But you have taught these birds too well. And they basically the birds you. They come swooping in.
Not me.
Not you specifically, but like everybody.
Okay.
Like everybody on the outside gets the birds. Mabel gets the birds. You get the birds. You're like a little bit bird pet around the facial area.
Fine.
And Mishkoa, you managed to make it out, and Mishkoa's like, oh, fuck this, and slams the back door shut, and you just hear the little thud, 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 thud of very, very hungry former dinosaur bodies. So you are all now out in the back. You can hear the faint screams of people getting attacked by cawing angry birds in the front.
Love that game.
Yes. You are currently technically the pigs running away with the eggs in this scenario, according to a certain point of view. And hi, kitty. So
this
yes.
is Steven.
Hello, Steven. What do y'all do? You are now assembled. There's a short alley. You can go to the left or the right.
I would like to get off the street and take them down into the tunnel system.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
Hang on, shouldn't somebody get a mark off of the failure that Coco had?
yes, that's a good point. It's Mishkoa. Mishkoa gets the mark on Coco. Thank you for reminding me of that. Because you witness the absolute shit show, the literal shit show, because these birds are shitting everywhere, on everything, and on everybody. So you know that the best way to access the tunnel system, which is actually this is the second city that's technically been built here. The first city kind of like slowly sunk into the ground over time, and instead of actually like fixing these foundational errors or maybe going, hey, this isn't a great place to actually build anything, everyone just built right over top. So there's basically an entire like city underneath this city that nobody uses, is through the sort of what you call the strip. The strip is where, like, on one side is the seedy side of town, because this town isn't that big, is on one side, and the nice side of town is on the other, and you have everything in between. So the Kraft Kata is parallel to the nicer side of town. The easiest access is, of course, in the seedy side of town. In the nicer side of the town, of the strip, you will have to sort of bamboozle your way into the lower town, if that's your goal. So first, Mishka, give me a roll to, like, convince the party that this is what you want to do. And if you're cool with it, you don't have to roll. If you have a different idea, though, this will be a contested roll with Mishkoa. So does anyone have a different idea?
Before we do that, can I just say, firstly, Koki keeps being hidden because Zoom apparently doesn't know how to work out two people doing a call instead of one.
I don't know how to, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
It's distracting?
So, I mean, we've left the Kraft Kata now, so the wall is
Oh, we have. That's true.
a less relevant background. Also, like, we just got a sub from Derek Houseman, so shout out to Derek.
Hey!
Shout out to Derek.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I hope you guys don't mind my cat.
We love your cat. The only reason my cat is not all up on the stream is because she would be incredibly distracting. So, does anybody have a better idea, choice, desire than going subterranean with this mess?
Like, I kind of want to go check out the wreckage of that plane.
Ooh.
So you think the plane has something
maybe
to do
we
with
could
it?
do that, like, once we're not, like, right in the line of fire.
Yeah, I like putting that on like a to-do list.
Yeah, alright, cool. I'm happy with that.
Like there's probably like a path that like leads underground to that, you know what I mean? Like
Oh, like the whole of the city or township that you are in you can get anywhere, basically.
Oh,
you can get
perfect.
to the docks,
Yeah, so...
you can get to the airport, you can get sort of outside, except for Valerium, which was built, it's very new. It's like very new. So you could get to the kind of the outskirts of it, but anywhere you want to go, you could theoretically get there underneath the city. Whether or not you have the skills to do that
remains to be seen.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, I like the goal of using the underground to get to the plane.
And Jones has been kind of shell-shocked to this point, goes, thanks, I think. But, y'all are all gonna die.
What do you mean?
I mean, they really want me back. And they may have killed a couple people already. I'm not sure.
We all gotta go sometime.
I mean, true.
Can I want to inquire further as to, like, the relationship between, like, what's Jonas's mother got to do with these agents? Like, do these agents, like, just kidnap him regularly? Does he live at home and then, like, get taken by them?
Oh, no. They gave
Or
me
does
a
she just,
scholarship, and I went to school.
We still need
You went to a school to learn how to build a bomb?
We should move
Oh,
underground.
no, I just did that for fun. Like I said, I'm very smart. I'm really smart.
So home is not useful or a safe place.
Basically, Jonas tells you that he's at the Valerian boarding school.
Right.
Essentially, they only take very smart people. They have a like kindergarten through essentially college, but it's very small. They don't like invite a lot of people. It's very corporatized as well. And Jones was one of those people. He was going to school, and he tells you, I definitely stole something. Maybe on a dare again? Maybe. The building of the nuclear weapon was like, whatever. It just was what it is. Like, you've never done that? Really? Really? I can't be.
But we didn't really have time. for all of this. We're going to take you with us. But first, I'd like to roll to see if there are any tracking devices on him, any kind of GPS tag.
Oh, yeah, good call.
That's a good
Ooh,
call.
that's a good idea.
I think we need to check him first. Whether or not we actually save him is not. I don't really give a shit. But we need to know just if we can take him along to the next step.
Okay, well, so how are you going to actually do this? Give me your rolls, and then we'll figure out what that looks like.
Rolls first.
Yes.
Rolls first.
Yeah.
One success.
Where does it live?
I think this information is too important for you to not get what you want.
Yeah. Okay, that's my success. Is that I get what I want, but I definitely get hurt and definitely feel shame. Definitely.
Okay. Let's see. Who gets the mark against you is the big question. Is anybody helping with this endeavor?
I was thinking about helping.
Okay, so we'll give it to Jinx. We'll say that Jinx has the mark against Coco. The harm comes because, well, how do you start doing this? Do you just start pulling at his clothes? Are you, like, talking him through it? Or do you just, like, start basically trying to pull ticks off of him?
I start, like, looking for, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a subcutaneous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like on his shoulders and on his forearms. And start, like, trying to find something that's, like a little bone.
Excellent. So as Jonas is telling you all of this tragic backstory, Coco starts just, like, creepy touching him, and he ignores it for the first part. And then as she kind of gets more and more intrusive, he's, like, doing this, and then you end up in a slap fight.
Okay.
And he ends up accidentally swiping you across the face, and your fake glasses that you're wearing, which are fabulous little cat eye glasses, exactly like you're wearing now, end up going skittering, and one of the lenses breaks. So you only have, like, one of your lenses is actually intact. And it may not predispose you to this kid, but you do find 3 trackers. You find one in his shoe. You find one sort of tucked into a pocket, and then there's a very suspicious lump in his shoulder where he got
shoulder, and what else?
You get rid of the one in his shoe. You get rid of the two very obvious ones in his shoe, and one that was, like, clearly just slipped into a pocket.
Okay.
But what you're concerned about is you feel a lump in his shoulder where, when you ask him, he said, well, yeah, that's where the, like, school vaccines go.
Before we decide whether to take him with us, we really need to get rid of this, whatever this is.
I mean, jewelry making is not so different from minor surgery. It's a lot of fine control, you know. Like, you've got to manipulate things very carefully.
Take control.
Yeah.
So I guess I can, like, take a roll to see if I can surgically remove it without.
Yeah, I give him something to bite on.
All right.
It's not the therapy, at least.
Hey, give us a
Like
roll
the end
to
of the
see
shoe.
if you, like, jewelry this out of him.
All right. Oh dear. Okay, 2 failures. I think I, like, mess up, but I cut myself rather than him, but I do get it out.
Okay.
So the two, someone gets a mark, and I have lacerated my hand somehow.
So, Mishkoa, you were very protective of your pseudo-son, this child who you've decided to adopt. So you're going to get the mark on Haven. And you watch Haven, the way that you handle the knife, and you do cut yourself when you, like, he flinches and manages to, like, cut you into the hand. So you have a small cut on your trigger finger. of your non-dominant hand.
Okay.
So that could be potentially painful if you use a gun. But there's something about the way that Haven moves, the way that they use a knife, and it sparks something in you. And you in your past, in your sordid past, there was a time where every good revolution needs to poison a person or two. And you suddenly know exactly who this person is. Haven, would you like to tell us about your deep background?
Oh, dear. All right. So I had to leave. Wait, my deep background? Or
Not the background that nobody really knows about that you keep very, but
okay.
your professional reputation.
Yeah. All right. So
it precedes you.
So I was once upon a time a professional assassin, and I did so by developing both like blending into the background and like knife skills and that sort of thing, and also being very good at poisoning people. So there's a fly in it.
Poison it.
And I used to, like, I would do things for hire. You know, I'm sort of, you know, morally loose, let's say. But I draw the line at working for like really big, like, shady governments. Particularly, I've never worked for Valerian, and I've never worked for like the U.S. government. You know, I sort of like pick and choose who I like to take out. Usually, like, I'm pretty happy to like take out dictators or, you know, like warlords or drug lords, that sort of thing. Yeah, and yeah. So I have a history.
A history that you share with Coco, because Coco, when you see this and something clicks, you basically say Haven's undercover name from what is your professional background?
Oh! Okay, so my professional background.
Oh, no, sorry, not yours. Sorry, Mishkoa. Sorry.
My background is that I fought against a fascist government in my home country, working with like a small band of freedom fighters and vigilantes who were all captured or killed, and I had to flee.
So Mishkoa says this like deep cover name that this group gave you, and it is instantly recognizable. And the thing is, it's so recognizable that maybe other people in the group absolutely recognize this. Jinx. There may be a moment of just like giddy, like, oh shit, y'all are.
That person.
Yes. Haven is basically revolutionized assassination by poisoning. Like, no one really knows how they do it. No one has ever been able to figure out what concoctions they use. You have read numerous reports. You've like fangirled over them. No one even knew that Haven was like the same person for years and years and years and years. What is your reaction to this like revelation?
I'm like, I've heard so much about you.
Do you want to know Haven's code name?
Can we fangirl like not out in the open after we've just been shot at?
That is a question for Jinx. But yes, please tell me. Hold on a second. Please tell me Haven's code name.
Dark Frog.
Dark Frog.
Dark Frog. Okay.
Dark Frog.
Can I have your autograph?
Later, Jinx. Later.
Coco, how are you feeling about this whole ridiculous? And by the way, y'all are like slowly being herded down the alleyway towards an opening, and you're gonna have to make a choice soon. But Coco, how are you feeling about all of this?
Suddenly, everybody's focused on this person. I feel like I want this person to look at me as little as possible. So I'm not really saying anything, but I am. Let's see. Can I call one bird?
You can try. Like, give me a roll for it.
Yeah, one of my or whatever. Before we end up going underground. Okay, so I got 2 failures again.
Okay.
Okay, I succeed in getting what I want.
So you have successfully called one little bird.
Right.
Mishkoa gets the mark on you because he's kind of watching this Jinx fangirling and Haven being like, we are out in the open. I know I'm cool. I am very cool. Like,
Dark frog.
It's lovely. I love that there's just a human hand hanging out of the frog's mouth. So yeah, Mishkoa, you have a Coco mark. And the bird, when it alights upon you, its talons dig into your shoulder really badly.
Okay. I'm used to this, so yeah, comes with territory.
Haven, what you did in Morocco revolutionized the game. Like, everything changed after that.
Mishkoa, you are kind of in charge now of herding these little sheeples of yours. How do you do that? How do you kind of keep everybody moving at a brisk pace? So give me a roll to do that, and then tell me how it goes.
We probably don't have a lot of time. There's to get somewhere safe. We need to keep moving. I think I have an idea of where we're going.
You do know where you're going. That's not the issue. And on the strip are a bunch of crowds and stuff. Like it's the only place to really hang out in this town. So you can kind of hide yourselves in, but you're coming to the point where you have to make a choice of where you're going to go and how you're going to get there.
Okay.
Jesus,
Nope, stop rolling off.
Wrong.
2, 4.
So 1 failure?
Mm-hmm. I'll take some damage.
Okay. Herding cats. So what do you do? What's your plan?
My plan is to make our way outside of the city, so we can kind of like figure out who this kid is, like why do they want him, because he's alluded to some other things, who each other are, and do we have like a network that we can contact to just like be poof.
Okay. So y'all are headed. You can get to the outside of the city, but first you have to get to the undercity.
Okay. Okay.
So, where was your failure?
Failure is I'll take some damage.
Okay. So here's what you know. There are essentially 3 ways to get into the undercity on the strip. Closest to where you are is actually the new restaurant Lock, Stock, and Barrel. About halfway down is just a bar where people like to hang out. And further down is a dive bar, where there is just straight up access at the dive bar. The regular bar, you would have to kind of like know whose palms to grease in order to get access. The Lock, Stock, and Barrel is a complete unknown. It's a very high-end kind of restaurant that also serves booze. It's brand new. So there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of eyes on it. And it's likely to have a little bit more staff, have a little bit more formality to it. So you basically are herding everyone down to the strip, but right now you get to be the person who says where we're gonna go.
Okay, so one was a dive bar, one was a Lock, Stock, and Barrel, and what was the third one?
The third one is that this sort of just regular bar that people go to, but it would take a little bit of finessing to actually get to the door. The dive bar, you can basically walk in and be like, beeline to the underground.
That's where we're going.
To the dive bar. So, does anybody object to the dive bar?
No, I don't really object, but I'd like to send my bird away.
Don't we have a kid with us?
You do have the kid to you. The dive bar, they don't care. The actual bar, they would probably care. The Lock, Stock, and Barrel is a bar restaurant, so you can get the kid in.
That, we're probably
perfect. Okay.
Broken glass and bird poop.
So that's probably
You're looking a little bit frazzled, but like, you're crafters. We get it. Coco, yes, you have your bird. You do whatever you do with the bird. Feed it food.
Well, I'd like to ask it, like to tell it to go somewhere and collect intelligence for me and collect the latest intelligence.
Okay. You do that. You give it whatever message.
I'd like to send it to the Valerian penthouse office suite.
So you're going to the C-suite of Valerian.
Yes, that's what I meant.
And let's not forget that Haven planted a tracker and a bug on Agent Smith. So when you get to a place that you can actually like have Haven break out their cool stuff, you can definitely try and listen in on that.
Okay.
So your goal now that you have successfully, basically, Mishkoa has successfully herded y'all into, you know how when you're going to a place like the Strip where there's like a huge flow of traffic, you're about to just kind of dive into that flow of traffic and let it carry you. You're the closest to you is the Lock, Stock, and Barrel, which is at one end of the Strip, and the dive bar is at the very end. So you're looking at about a 4-block walk. So, do you stay together? Do you break up? Jones almost just like walks into traffic because he doesn't know when to stop. So somebody should probably yank him back by the collar since that worked so well the first time.
I'll grab him.
So Jinx reels him back in and is like, no, child.
With great Heelys comes great responsibility.
And he looks at you and goes, mine are blue.
They're still great.
Oh, they're the best. And he looks down at yours and he's like, no, they're really the best.
These are rainbow-colored DJs, okay? Top of the line market. I spent serious money on these.
That's so millennial of you.
I mean, yeah, it is.
So, as you all look out at the flowing group of people, you notice, like in any little thing of water, there are little eddies of people who aren't moving, the people who seem to be standing still and scanning the crowd. Clearly, someone is on the look for something, and it might be you. Do you have a plan to get to the 4 blocks to the dive bar?
Oh, yeah, I do. I wanna pull out my satchel of jewelry and just like absolutely layer Jonas with the non-poisoned stuff.
Okay.
I haven't added what, like, there's like a couple of pieces that I've got poisoned, but obviously I don't want to kill it. So I want to just like layer him up with so much that he's unrecognizable. You know, give him a couple of fake piercings, and like maybe some like ear cuffs.
So give me a roll to disguise the 15-year-old boy.
All right. Oh, I failed everything. Oh no.
Unfortunately, you accidentally poisoned Jonas and yourself with a truth serum. So you are now both very inclined to tell as much of the truth as you possibly can. As much of the truth as you possibly can.
I'm aware of this.
Right.
You start speaking.
In Jonas, he just says whatever comes to his mind in brutal, blunt fashion, which at first you don't realize because it's not really far of like he's a 16-year-old boy. He just doesn't have a lot of a filter anyways. But you kind of cotton on when this very, very lovely man walks by. And when you see him walk by, he's wearing a pair of those Amazon athletic pants that very much curve to the buttocks and make them look absolutely voluptuous on even people who have no butt. And he like literally does the thing where he goes, damn, and starts following after this man like a dog who just saw a real nice butt.
Oh my god.
And he actually gets half a block away before y'all realize that he just like damned his way down the street with his hands outstretched.
Oh my
Someone
god.
please save this boy from himself. Who
I will
wants
do
to
it.
volunteer? Okay, Jinx.
I will do it. I will do it.
Healy into this boy and save his life.
I will go over there and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
So give me a roll to essentially reel this boy in. While she's doing that, Haven, you are naturally a little bit more reserved, but like, if someone asks you a question, you are going to be in trouble.
I only have one success.
Okay, where does that success lie?
I get what I want because I don't want this kid skating away. So I'll be embarrassed and I'll hurt myself.
Okay, Jinx, we're gonna give Haven, who you do have a sinking suspicion that like maybe I done fucked up. I think I may have fucked up. Oh no.
Yeah.
Because
Also,
like,
I need somebody. If Jinx is getting a mark, like if I'm getting a mark off Jinx, Jinx get a mark off me too.
yes, it's gonna be a traded mark essentially.
Okay.
You feel the tingling, and you kind of like you're experienced enough to know that. I mean, you don't quite know yet how you done fucked up. You do know you're not gonna die, but this is bad. You're not happy.
Oh no! Oh, this is bad. I've poisoned myself, everybody. Just, it's happened.
Oh. No, but
Jinx,
you're still cool. You're still cool. It's fine.
Jinx, you're saying this as you've like bodily tackled the 16-year-old boy, and he's like hauling you down the street while you're attached to his waist.
You know how embarrassing
It's fine.
it is.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
Do you know how embarrassing it is for an assassin as experienced as me to poison myself? Oh my god! Oh god! I need to go and have a drink or something. I think I'm also gonna wander in like a different direction.
Well, actually, what you do is you like do the walk of shame, this thing, and you power walk past where Jinx is making herself a body weight for Joan, who's still just like looking at the magnificent ass as it walks away from him.
I feel like me and Jones are kind of like the same size. Like we're both
Yes.
like.
Yes, you are like a hindrance only because he has no muscle mass. Because he's a 16-year-old boy. Coco and Mishkoa, you're both kind of like the what just happened? And three of your party are now like halfway down the block. What do you do?
I'll go first.
Sure. One, I'm going to ask you, can you herd them with your birds?
Can I hurt them? You saw what happened at the Stitchin' Bitch. I don't know if that's wise, considering how many people there are. But I have one on
The birds show up, it could be a massacre.
Are we just bemused at like what has just gone down, or is it like, am I an experienced enough spy to like understand what has just happened, like the exact nature of the poison?
I mean, honestly, it's probably both. I don't know if you know the exact nature, but y'all have been in the Stitch and Bitch for a while, so you are used to each other's sort of like everyday personas, and it is definitely weird that Haven is just like volunteered the fact that they poison themselves.
Great. Okay.
But they are going the correct direction.
Okay. I think like we just keep going, but like I have since we're all moving already, like I start asking Haven questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do. Give me a roll. Just 1d6. Tell me what the number is.
1.
You get to ask Haven one question.
Exciting.
So, what is it? And like, make it good. Also, Mishkoa, while Coco is thinking about this one question that they get to ask Haven in their time of extreme emotional duress and vulnerability, as you look around, give me just 1d6 roll and tell me what the number is.
1.
You notice one person staring at your group from across the street. And they seem to be keeping pace with y'all, but they are clearly watching you.
I am going to... I'm actually going to choose to ignore this person because we look like a bunch of weirdos on the street. So I'm going to urge everybody to maybe walk a little bit faster.
Okay. So, Coco, you don't have to ask your question now. You can think on it and ask it at an opportune moment.
Right.
But you do have one question that you get to ask Haven that Haven will have to answer completely truthfully. Do you warn anybody, Mishkoa, about this person that you have noticed observing you?
No.
Okay. So Mishkoa is urging you all to walk faster. He urges Jinx to let go of Jones, and is kind of like every time Jones gets distracted by a hot person or food or anything, y'all are just riding herd on Jones. Who exactly is riding herd on Jones? Out of curiosity.
I'll do that.
It's definitely Jinx. It's definitely Mishkoa. Haven?
I want to handcuff the kid to myself.
Love it. Give me a roll to see if you handcuff.
I only got one success.
So where's the success lie?
I'll do it.
Okay. So Jinx, I'm gonna give Coco the mark on you because Coco watches you do this, and the thing is, Jones is such a spaz that he keeps forgetting, and he's also poisoned with this like inhibitioning lowing poison, so he forgets that he's attached to you, and he'll like go off in various directions.
I'm like, yep.
Yep. And so you have a very bruised wrist. Like, it hurts a lot. So if at any point in the future, if you get tired, you have to do anything with your wrist movement, like, it's not going to be great. It's going to be very bad. You're not going to enjoy it.
But at least he's not wandering off as much.
He's not. He's very attached to you in the literal sense. He keeps trying and he keeps failing. So you can basically just like blaze a straight path and he will have to follow you. Are you following Mishkoa's guidance or
I'll follow where he wants us to go.
And are you peppering Haven with questions? Because you have been
100%.
fangirling, and Haven seems to be
100%.
very forthcoming.
I 100% am. But like it's nothing that's like it's typical fangirl questions.
Yeah, so Haven,
Like-
you notice that the level of questions that Jinx are giving you, it's like it's not some of your more like clandestine secret shit. It's definitely stuff that like you would 100% expect any competent spy organization to have figured out about you. So, go for it, Jinx.
Okay, so when you were going after the Viscar, what exactly, like, you mentioned something about orange juice. What was that?
Oh, the orange juice. Oh, that tastes bad. Yeah, so I'm a little spacey and also like still a bit in shock from the fact that I've poisoned myself. So
Totally fair.
Especially in a professional setting, like, oh boy.
Yes. I'm definitely gonna like need to drown my sorrows in an alcohol when we get far eventually. But for now, yeah. So I mean, orange juice is one of those things that has some really funny properties when you mix it with certain poisons.
That makes sense.
Haven, you feel a sting on your neck.
A sting.
A sting.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you slap at it and pull it away, there's a small dart in your fingers.
Cool. More poisoning. Love
Please,
it.
please roll with an additional die.
An additional dice. Okay.
Please roll and then assign. You get to roll 4 die to assign to your various
I lost
sections.
Shoot. Okay. So I've got two of each. So I'll take 2 successes and a failure.
Okay.
What I want is to not continue to be under the influence of even more things. So I'm gonna put a success in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also gonna be like bleeding from a small wound in my neck, I think.
So you do get hurt, but you definitely like you see this poison and you're just like, how dare you? I'm immune. Which, if there was such thing as an anti-marks, it just happened to Jinx because she like watched you basically go like, "Are you serious right now?"
Do you need a Band-Aid?
Do you?
I've done worse than this to myself. Clearly, I'm fine. It'll scab over. I'll be fine. I don't need a Band-Aid.
So
also,
Jinx and Haven, roll a d6 and just tell me what the number is.
I got a 5.
A 1.
So Jinx, you see 3 people who are basically marking your passage. One is the same person that Mishkoa saw that he did not tell you all about that is kind of keeping pace with you. One, like, very clearly is waiting to see what the result of something is, and you can presume that this is the person that shot Haven.
Yeah. And
there's one person ahead of you who isn't moving, who's like letting the crowd move around them. So you, in your expert spy opinion, think, oh, this is a person who's like waiting to join up. Haven, you're still just like, how dare these people? How dare? Like, how
do they not know who I am?
Like
come
the
on.
fact that the fact that I just poisoned myself notwithstanding.
The goal of these people.
Yes.
I'm going to have to take down their entire organization just for this insult alone.
Absolutely you are. Are you going to start by like trying to go rogue after these agents that you haven't quite cottoned on are there, but you do know they are? Or are you going to stay with the group?
Well, if I haven't cottoned on, then if I cotton on, surely I am like also going to blurt it out to the rest of the group.
Oh, you absolutely know that there are people who are trying to hit you. You just haven't identified them in the crowd yet.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. I feel like we need to like duck into like another building or something. We're definitely being tracked by multiple people right now.
You are right up on that really nice bar.
I've been for blocks. We're almost there. Let's just keep going.
Okay, well then like we should pick up the pace.
So, Mishkoa thinks that y'all should keep going
Like,
to the
draw more
dive
attention
bar.
to us. You want to draw more attention to us. I've just been shot in the neck. We've clearly got people on us. Like, come on, guys. Like, we need to blend in more. I think we should also try and duck in somewhere.
Yeah.
So, Jinx
I
and
don't like
Haven
being out here.
both want to duck in to this bar and restaurant that isn't the dive bar. The bar is called The Scope, and the dive bar is called Used Target. Used Target.
Amazing.
So Mishkoa wants to keep going to the Used Target. Jinx and Haven both want to go into The Scope.
You just have to get off the street right now.
So, do a contested roll. Mishkoa, roll, and Coco, do you have an opinion about any of this?
I also think we should go into scope because I'd like to get out of the line of fire of many different inputs.
Okay, so it's a three of you against Mishkoa. So see all of you roll, and you can call in marks if you want.
Oh yeah, so if I have a mark, can I roll it?
Yes, you can call in a mark against Mishkoa.
Okay, I'm gonna call in a mark.
I am not going to.
Okay, so Jinx
Oh, wait,
is
I don't have one. I don't have one. Sorry.
Yeah, you don't have one against Mishkoa, but Mishkoa, do you want to call in a mark against?
Yes, I will.
Okay, do you want to roll?
And Haven.
So you would have to roll twice. So you would roll against Haven and against. So
How many?
4.
Okay.
Roll 4 and then
how many marks?
Top.
Wait, so I'm rolling 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Mishkoa is rolling twice, once against Jinx and once against Haven.
All right, and you're calling in the mark against me. All right, cool.
He is.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so 3, 1, 6, and then I roll.
You roll 4 against each one, but they are separate rolls, so 8 dice total.
Gotcha. 2.
So 1 success against Jinx.
I know I rolled 1 success, so we're kind of tied.
1, 4, 6, 5. So against
I got 1 success against Mishkoa, so I am just gonna not get hurt, I think.
Well, in this case, the hurt is Mishkoa gets a mark against both Jinx and Haven because basically the force of his personality was like, you're coming with me, and he actually physically reaches out and yanks you forward, Haven. So you get a little bit of whiplash because he's like, nope, you're coming with me. And you just grab Haven and you like shove Haven in front of you, and y'all are continuing your march down to the dive bar.
This is a bad idea.
You are correct because y'all get swarmed by 5 agents.
5.
What
We need
is
to make
the
a
response?
Da, 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 da.
One is
Someone
going
call
for
it-
each of you. One agent is going for each of you. What?
For each of us, and then 1 for Jonas as well.
Yes.
For Jonas.
One
Okay.
per, and then 1 for Jonas. So you each get your own agent who's targeting you. And we will go in reverse order of my screen. So we're going to start with Haven. And Haven, this is definitely, you can tell, this is the agent that shot you with the poison dart because they are holding a small little dart machine thing, like a blow dart.
Oh.
Like, this is a professional. This is not just somebody who decided to dart gun you. They actually blow darted you.
Oh, I'm mad. I'm mad.
So what do you want to do to them?
Oh, I want that dart gun. Not because I think that I can like use it. I mean, obviously I can use it, but I just want to destroy it for its like sheer goal. And I think I mean, I think at this stage I probably just pull a knife on the guy, right? I've got 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. You do.
So I pull a knife on the guy, and I guess just like have a go at it.
So
And
are you?
all the while I am screaming about how I am incensed.
So
How dare you? I invented this. You think this is gonna affect me? Like, you complete amateur. You just don't have any idea what's going on here. I'm gonna stab you and I'm gonna destroy your dart, and then your children will be sad.
do you want to say that you put some kind of like poison on your blade?
Yes, because if this guy survives, then I want him to also be telling many fruits. So the same poison that Jonas and I have been hit with.
So the crowd is going to hear this and think that y'all are like freshly broken up. So give me a roll and let's see how well you pull this off.
All right. I have 1 success.
Okay, where does it go?
It's I definitely am gonna have to feel some shame here.
Mm-hmm.
Which just seems to be part of the course at this stage. Like, I am so thoroughly embarrassed with everything that's going on right now.
Today is not your day.
And
I mean, you poisoned yourself. Like, how? Yikes.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. How much more ashamed can I get, really? So I'm gonna. He's still armed with a dart gun. What did you say? What else he was armed with, or is it he's just like?
He's got basically your standard thug. He's got some brass knuckles. He's definitely got a gun, but it's still in the holster because you are in a crowd, and so they're not necessarily trying to draw attention. But everyone's giving you a wide berth because they do think this is a lover's quarrel that's about to escalate hardcore. So, like, half the people are filming you and half the people are like, I don't see anything.
All right, I think I'm gonna get what I want, which is stabby information, and take some damage.
Yes. So, describe how you kind of fight and stab this dude.
Well, I mean, I'm obviously a little bit disoriented because, you know, the truth-telling serum is not exactly like it's not an over-the-counter sort of medicine. So I'm kind of staggering a bit all over the place, and I've got the knife out in front of me. I'm clearly, like, not super, like, I know how to use a knife, but I'm much more familiar with, like, more subtle and, like, more hand-to-hand combat techniques. So I'm kind of, like, waving it around a bit, like, amateurish, and yeah, I think I'm gonna go in for like a lunge to like slash his arm and get some poison in those veins, but he also like gives me a good whack.
Yes. So you start sort of tussling with this dude who is like completely unprepared for the level of professional rage you have towards him, because for him this is just a job. Like, he's been hired to do this. You're making it personal, and the insults you're hurling at this dude are super personal, and he just like at some point he tries to be like, who are you? And that makes you even madder because, like, how dare you try and poison me? Me? Like, me? I am the dart frog. Like, what?
I am.
And you manage to stab him, but you know that it's a fairly superficial wound. If you hadn't poisoned your blade, this guy would likely have been able to shrug it off. But he managed, like, you stab him, and he kind of chops at your arm that was holding the blade. And your wrist is already very fragile at this point. It very hurts, and you don't think that once he's done with you, you'll be able to actually, like, hold anything against pressure at this point. Like, you might not, like, you could hold something in your hand, but the second someone tries to challenge you for you, you just don't really have the grip strength anymore in that hand, which sucks. But you do successfully stab him. You do make your point very eloquently that everyone in the audience that's watching you is just like, oh man, he done fucked up. Like, you don't insult someone like that. Rude.
Really
And
bad.
actually, the crowd is very on your side. They're very on your side and think that, like, yeah, fuck this guy. And
I mean, also I'm somebody of a very slight stature. Like, it looks like just some thug trying to beat up somebody of a nondescript gender who is much smaller than that.
And Coco is watching this whole encounter with, like, a lot of interest, so she's gonna get the mark on you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Coco.
So I have a total of 3 marks against Haven.
Yes.
It's a lot of marks.
You have collected a decent number of marks against Haven.
Okay. So I would like to, because I also have an agent, I would like to extremely quickly, and with as few motions as possible, take out a broken piece of glass that I picked up on my way out of the Stitchin' Bitch, jab him in the femoral artery, and move on to Haven's agent.
Okay. And end Haven's agent, who currently is just like, this was just a job. They didn't tell me much. I was just supposed, like, the poison wasn't even gonna kill you. Like, calm down. The fact that he told you to calm down is, like, so fucking rude. Like, does he not realize the level of insult he is given? So,
At this point, I'm in with rage. I'm just screaming.
You're just
blind
Matt.
Yeah.
Coco, give me the roll for femoral arterying everybody.
I got 1 success.
Okay, where does that success live?
I feel like, okay, so the success is that I get what I want. I make my target. All the shame that I've been feeling ambiently throughout all my decision making, I think should be related to the fact that I'm the oldest one in the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as spry as I once was, so things that I'm doing are much more visible than I would like them to be. So I get what I want. But yeah, how do I get hurt?
Yeah, so Jinx, you see basically Grandma, like, try and do something real cool, and she doesn't quite manage it, and you're like, it's okay.
It's fine.
Like, the Healy life is very one of, like, trying something and failing, and then just try again.
We accept people here.
Exactly. So Jinx gets another point, a mark against you.
Wait, I said that the success was going to be that I got what I want.
Yes, no, you do successfully. Jinx watches you do this, but, like, notices your kind of struggle and basically adds her own whole. Yeah, exactly. And the damage comes from the fact that you did use that piece of glass. It's not protected in your hand, so now you have, like, cut very deeply in your hand. So basically your offhand is real fucked up.
Okay.
It's real bad. So don't try, like, if you tried to double wield guns, for example, you'd be in a lot of trouble with that offhand weapon. Yes, exactly. You haven't quite cut the tendons, but, like, man, it's close, and a couple of them may just be holding on by the bare minimum.
Okay.
But you do successfully take out your agent, and you manage to gut punch the agent that was, like, backing up from Haven in a way that some people realize what you did. And, like, the patrons outside of the scope are like, this isn't the dive bar. This is this, like, fine, upstanding establishment. You need to be 2 blocks that way in order to do this shit. What? Most of the people don't realize what you've done, which is stab this dude in the gut. Haven, you do see this, and you are kind of wondering, like, why would Coco stab this dude so abruptly? Your agent, you basically just hit him in the femoral artery. He's just sitting down against a public trash can, bleeding out, like desperately trying to put pressure on his wound. Mishkoa.
I'm gonna go for the patented throat punch.
I mean, it's worked for you in the past.
It's worked for me in the past. 4. Fuck. All right, 1 success.
Where's it going?
I get what I want.
Okay.
I'm gonna get some damage and feel some shame.
I'm going to give the shame to Coco because she was near you when this happened, and she watched it, and like part of her decided not to intervene on your behalf. So that was a choice. You throw punch this dude. And in the doing so, the guy brings his hands up, and you realize that he has little knives on the tips of his fingers, like these cool little gloves that you desperately now want, now that you know that they exist and are a thing, that have razor blades in the fingers. And when you throat punch him, he instinctively goes like this and just and manages to leave these very deep score marks on the top of your hand. So you also have a very weak, your main hand. Once you actually do make a fist, you can do everything fine. But, like, you're going to have to fight through some pain in that initial round to make sure that it happens, and it happens well. So you all have sort of taken care of your own guards, each other's guards. When you look around, you don't see Jonas. Oh, you haven't. Sorry, Jinx.
And also, Jonas is handcuffed to me.
He is handcuffed to you. So what do you do?
What I was planning on doing is, so I see that like someone's coming towards us. I reach in my backpack and I pull out my axe. It's a purple handle and like a rainbow metallic double-headed blade.
Yep.
And I swing Jonas in front of me and I hold the axe against his neck. And I say, "Stop following us, or the kid gets it."
All right. Roll for that deception maneuver.
Okay. I got 1 success. And so I want this gamble to work.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll take the pain and embarrassment that's required.
So for Jinx, I think let's play this out and see who gets the mark on you.
Okay.
So you do it. You do that maneuver, but you have to twist your wrist, your like already bruised wrist.
My bad wrist, yeah.
Very weird fashion in order to accomplish this. And you look up and like your agent kind of freezes and is like, I don't really know what to do. The thing is, you don't see the agent that was going for Jonas. You know that there were 5. 3 are down. 1 is standing in front of you like, I need orders. And there's another one in the wind. And so you're stuck here with your wrist hurting a lot. Like, you're pretty sure, in your professional opinion, that your wrist is at the very least fractured at this point. So, like, don't put any more pain.
Yeah.
Don't put any more pressure on it whatsoever.
I'll say this is the one that we've been, like, he's been handcuffed to my left side, so my left wrist.
Yes, it's your offhand. Yeah. I don't know, group. You all witnessed this. Most of you know that there were 5 people, and when you track them, you see 4 right now. There's 1 clearly visible threat in front of you that's being stymied by the fact that Jinx is willing to threaten the life of Jonas. What's your move? What's your plan? You also know that there's one agent that just disappeared, and you have no idea. This person could be calling for backup. They could be hiding amongst the crowd, ready to attack at any point. What's the move, guys?
I'd like to seek out the third agent.
Okay, give me a roll.
It's my number one. Okay, so I got one success.
Okay.
I would like to get what I want.
So you look around and you see the agent has sunk back about 2 deep in the crowd and is talking into their wrist.
Ooh.
But as you're like trying to signal to your group, you trip over your own overly long shawls, and they like, you kind of like twist your ankle a little bit, and when you look up, Haven is staring right at you like, the fuck was that? So Haven, you now have a mark on Coco.
Damn it, there's so many.
Mishkoa, what are you doing?
Um,
But you have successfully been like, there, look there. So Mishkoa, Coco has pointed there. What do you do?
what do I want to do?
You have one agent in front of you who's kind of like trying to figure out their course of action given what Jinx has done, which is like the ballsy move. Coco has just alerted you to somebody hiding in the crowd who's clearly summoning some sort of backup. And Haven is kind of standing around, like, not really standing around, but has just, like, dealing with the fact that they've been poisoned, has just witnessed Coco kind of make a fool of herself.
Where are we to the nearest, like, we weren't quite at the dive bar, but we were close to something.
You're in front of the scope. You're basically halfway to where you would ideally want to be, which is the dive bar, the used target. But you are in front of the scope, which is the decent bar that would likely be like, no minors allowed. That you would have to like either talk your way into or bribe people into letting you get to the underground.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go to the restaurant. Try and grab them two, and pull us into the.
Do you mean Jinx and Jonas? Or
Yes.
Jones, I mean?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna try and just haul Jinx and Jones into the scope. Which means Jinx, Mishko is gonna get the mark on you.
I'm sorry.
All right, so one failure.
Where is it gonna live?
I'll take a mark. I'll do some shame.
Okay, so Jinx, you guys basically traded marks. So Jinx gets a mark against Mishkoa. And Mishkoa, and this also puts a lot of strain on your wrist. Because Mishkoa is going to basically like haul y'all back and you have to keep hold of the baby, the MacGuffin in this situation, while he's hauling you into the scope. Haven and Coco, what do y'all do? You've just seen Mishkoa like make this executive decision to haul two of your party into the scope.
Haven't I just injured myself again?
You do. You have a small limp. You have like tweaked your ankle.
I see. I would like to get out of the range of sight of this agent immediately.
The one that's calling for backup.
The one who's calling for backup, exactly. I'd like to. Is there like an alleyway or anything near the scope?
No, the scope is like basically halfway down a block of the strip. There's
Right.
you have to go in or keep going down.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna go in as well.
Okay. Haven.
Slowly though.
I want to stumble my way forward, like to the front, like in front of Mishkawa, and try and bribe the girl on the door with some very pretty jewelry.
Okay, so Haven has decided they want to smooth the way so that Jones doesn't get carded, essentially. So give me a roll for that.
One success.
Okay, where does the success go?
I'm gonna get what I want.
Okay.
I'm gonna like wander up to the guy and go, "Hey, buddy. Hey. So I know this looks bad, but also like you don't have to worry about it because look at this. I've just got this like 24 karat gold, beautiful ring. You know, perfect present to give to somebody, or you could flog it. It's probably worth a good $300 or $400. No poison on it at all. Don't even worry about it."
And the guy looks at it and goes, I could get better off Etsy. That wounds you in your soul. It's not a visible wound, but like, man, are you gonna be like super conscientious of your art in the future?
I am offended. I am gonna offer you also this lovely 24 karat necklace.
And he looks at it and he looks at you and he goes, did you not understand what I meant by I could buy better off Etsy?
I think I'm gonna break down crying.
I am going to man, who saw this? Who witnessed your shame? I guess it would have to, honestly, the only person left to witness your shame is Coco. Unfortunately.
Oh, good, more marks.
Coco's just collecting marks on everybody.
Coco's like collected a lot of marks on him.
Coco's got 4 marks on me. Yeah.
Yes. Coco, you just witnessed, so Haven decided to run interference for Mishkoa and Jinx as they kind of hauled Jones in. And Haven tried to bribe the door guard essentially with their jewelry, and the door guard was like, I could get better shit on Etsy. So Haven's hurt.
Mortally offended.
Yes.
And on the verge.
If we were doing like marks against non-player characters, you would just have an eternal hatred of this person, and it would be a fatwa basically. There would be no quarter given. So, how do you disengage from this person who's insulted you so gravely? Like, I don't know how you leave. What do? Do you flounce? What's up, Haven?
I think I lean into the very real emotional trauma that I've just experienced and like start crying and sobbing, and like I just clutch my face and I dash off into the scope.
And nobody wants to stop you because no one wants to stop a sobbing them bee. It's just not done. It is not done. It sounds like a trap. So you are all inside the scope, which is it's a big bar. It's got it's actually got 3 levels to it. There is like very clearly like a top lofted level. There's this bottom, mostly the bar area, and then there is a sign saying cocktails pointing down into a basement. It's a big area. There's nothing. The whole building is.
I definitely back right down to the. I'm gonna need a cocktail after the announcement.
Yeah. So Haven leads the way and is just going straight down to where the hard liquor lives.
I'd like to stop this from happening.
Okay.
Yeah. Once we're no longer in view of the agents, I am not holding Jones hostage
Yes.
anymore.
You've relaxed. You still are holding your beautiful glittering double-headed axe, but you're not threatening Jones. And Jones honestly isn't that like surprised at this. He definitely assumed that like part of the anthood was friendly threatening. Jones is basically like, oh yeah, I mean that was way more fun than when like Mom did it.
Oh my god.
The most tragic figure. Coco, so you want to stop Haven's mad dash.
Yeah, I think it's a horrible idea to go down into a basement of a place we don't know has an exit, and trap ourselves there. So I'd like to prevent the party and steer us towards the back door.
Yes. Well, no, you do know that there is an entrance to the underground here. That was one of the points of the bar, but you do not know where it is. The basement's not a bad idea, but it's not guaranteed.
It's absolutely not my motivation though. Like
Right.
I'm just
Yeah, no, hey,
Oh yeah.
I need a drink.
yeah.
I would just like to prevent it, and since Jinx is attached to Jones, I'd like to ask Mishkoa to go downstairs and check for the entrance and make sure to see if it's down there.
Well, Haven will definitely get there first because Haven is in the mad emotional dash for hard liquor.
Right. So I want to try to stop them.
So first you're gonna stop them. So give me the roll to stop Haven. And do you want to call in one of your marks against Haven? You have 4.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
So roll 4 dice against Haven, and Haven roll 3 to try and resist and continue on your like Ophelia-esque swoon into liquor.
I just utterly fail.
All failures.
I got 1 success.
So where does that success live?
Oh my lord. I don't get hurt.
So Haven, you make a mad dash towards this cocktail, like exactly where you see the cocktails are advertised, because that's what the doctor ordered. Coco tries to step in front of you, or Coco, how do you work? Do you try and shaw her or them? Do you try and like what's going on?
That's a good point. Yeah, I have one of those little scarves that don't really do anything, but they were very popular in the early aughts. It's like a little thing. I tried to lasso their arm as they're like reaching down towards the banister or whatever.
So Haven, you have a mark against Coco, which actually you have 3 marks against Coco. You also have one of Coco's scarves draped around you, which makes you like, oh, this is actually kind of feel a little bit pretty in this. So it makes you feel like just a little bit better.
A little bit better.
Like you feel a little pretty. Whereas this person made you really doubt all of the jewelry that you have draped on you. But you do successfully get downstairs. And you see the stairs basically gives into what looks like an old-time speakeasy. The bar is right in front of you because that's the most important point. There is, to your far left, a stage that's illuminated where a chanteuse is just singing the oldies, like a very postmodern jukebox type of deal. The rest of the room is fairly low light and smoky, but not like smoke from cigarettes, smoke like this is intentionally an ambiance that we have fostered. Coco, you just try and stop Haven, but they are just so distraught and overwhelmed and like on a lot of various poisons and drugs. They're having some really interesting interactions right now.
Oh my gosh.
And you're kind of like, you know what? The entrance to the underground is probably down there. I might as well let this happen. And So you
Wait,
watch.
can I stay up top just in case?
You are currently up top. Everyone except for Haven is up top.
Yeah, if we're not following, yeah, I would like to stay up top and
You
check
can
out.
choose to follow.
No,
So Coco chooses not to follow.
I choose to lightly ashamed. I choose to turn towards the nearest helpful-looking waitstaff to ask them. Is like the underground something that everybody knows about commonly, or is it like?
Yeah, no, there's a big sign that says cocktails, and it's pointing downwards. Like,
No, but
it's
I mean,
not
like,
hidden.
No, I mean like
Oh.
the rest of myself, or the actual like entrance. Is it secret?
In your circles, it's not. In
Okay.
civilian circles, it is one of those things that you see on a blog that you're like, oh, cool, I should take a tour of that. But the fact that it is treadable is not really well known. Like, you're not supposed to. But you're spies.
Yeah.
So Mishkoa, Jinx, attached to Jones. Any thoughts?
I'm gonna be and go down and go down.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah, we're gonna head down because that makes the most sense.
Yes, like, it's not a guarantee, but
Can I like roll to like see if I know? Like if I like saw like any like papers or anything?
yep, you can roll
Like
to
any files?
guess the kind of general layout of this place. Absolutely.
All failures. I don't know.
You have no idea. Jones keeps trying to like wander off. He really, really wants some wings. Like, really wants some wings. He keeps trying to flag down every single waiter to be like, hey, ooh, nice arms. You got some wings? Ooh, nice boobs. You got some wings? Ooh, you know, I just saw
Jones, this isn't a Hooters.
But why not? What? Everything could be a Hooters. Why isn't everything a Hooters? This is a missed opportunity. And now he's sulking. He sat in a chair. Actually, he just sat down on the floor.
And I'm like, oh!
And yes, yanked you down, and now he's pouting on the fact that not every restaurant is a Hooters.
If we go downstairs, I'll buy you wings.
If you'll live to see next year, you can make every restaurant a Hooters. But right now, we need to get out of here.
I mean, you do know that I could just hack Fort Knox and make that real.
Wait, is that
Get them downstairs as soon as possible.
That is a thing that Jones says, and you don't know if you believe him or if he's just being a 16-year-old boy.
I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of Fort Knox franchising Hooters restaurants.
Golden Hoots. Golden Boss Hoots for everybody is Jones' answer for you.
What happens when a Golden Corral and a Hooters, they love each other very
Oh,
much?
God. It's the buffet at the Hooters. Yikes.
Yikes is right. Yikes on bikes.
Yes. Yikes on tandem bikes in this case. So Mishkoa, are you following Haven downstairs?
I'm gonna roll to know to like have the knowledge of where the entrance is.
Okay. Roll that and tell me what it is.
This is 6. Whoa!
Still 6.
No, let's redo it. 1. 3. Success.
So where's your success lie?
I don't want to spend any more time here, so I'm gonna get what I want.
Based on the layout and the way that people are sort of moving in and out, and your own sort of experience with sketchy shit, you would surmise that, in fact, downstairs would be the place to be if you wanted to try and access the underground. That's the cocktails, as much as they are advertised, there is a reason that that is cocktails, that downstairs exists. So if you do want to get to the underground, go there. So Mishkoa, speaking with authority, relays this, I assume, to the group. What do? Do you try and convince everyone to go down? Do you just go? What's your whole move?
I know exactly where we need to go. Keep heading down.
Does everyone follow him?
Yes.
Jinx follows. Coco, do you follow?
Can I roll for just to make sure that I'm like that I can't see something just in my line of sight that would suggest that there is a back way?
Yes. You
Okay,
can
like
also roll for the.
entrance to a different part of the
Mhm.
lower level of the roof. Okay. All right. 2, 1. Okay, so I got 3 failures.
So, oh dear. I think Mishkoa gets this against you because he's sort of standing next to you. So he gets the mark against you. There's no reason for you to think that's not true. There's something about it that bugs you. You just like naturally are not inclined to follow, but at the same time, you cannot think of a reason not to follow. And when you start going down the stairs, you once again trip over your absolutely absurd amount of clothing. And you end up kind of like dunk, 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 dunk. Down to the first landing before it turns to go down. And like, oh man, if you have to run, your ankle's real screwed. Like,
Well, I'm a very old lady anyway.
you are.
Oh no.
You are.
Okay.
I think somebody gets a mark against Mishkoa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to give that to Jinx. Actually, we're going to trade that off with Coco because the initial thing that made you check again was like you've gotten to know Mishkoa over the course of your Stitch and Bitch, but also like now, and you can tell that while he's pretty sure, you can tell that he's not 100% sure.
Okay.
Like, he's not used to being in a position of authority. He's a really solid number 2. But in this group, Mishkoa, you are like the baller number 1. So this is kind of an odd situation for you to be in. So you all traipse down the stairs. Coco kind of tumbles down them. Manages to kind of keep her feet at the very end. Haven has bellied up from the bar and already has a full drink in front of them.
I'm also in the middle of telling a bartender about one of my many exploits.
Absolutely you are. What is your drink of choice?
Something fruity and very alcoholic.
Yes.
I'm
I'm actually not that familiar. What?
I buy Haven a peach Bellini.
Beautiful.
So, Haven, you're actually double fisting it. You basically did that thing that people do to bartenders where they're like, I want something super fruity that's very alcoholic where I cannot taste the alcohol. And the bartender's like, fuck you. And shove something very sugary towards you. And then Jinx buys you a peach Bellini, so you turn around and you have 2 drinks in your hand.
Beautiful.
And when you look across at the shunters who's singing something, the first thing that your eyes fall upon, I have a question for you, Haven. What is your oldest brother's name?
My oldest brother's name?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Steve and I don't really talk these days.
You don't. This is the first time you've seen Steve in, like, almost a decade. But Steve is sitting there in the middle of the room, looking at you like he expected you to be here the whole fucking time. And he smiles.
Oh, no. No, Steve. No.
And he says,
No.
Are you done murdering people in the coward's way?
Damn! Damn!
Oh shit!
I am speechless. I am incensed. Nobody has any respect for my craft. I can't believe you're here, Steve. What are you doing here?
And Steve's eyes kind of flit over. to one of your companions, but you're a little bit too drunk to notice which. And then he looks at you, and when he stands up, you realize he is wearing a full Valerian uniform. He is, like, he's got the badge, he's got the embroidery, it says Dr. Steven on it, and you know this motherfucker is not a doctor in any way, shape, or form. Like, no. Rude. And he stands up,
Though, you know.
and he goes, "We've let you fuck around for a long time, but come home or find out."
Oh god. Today
And
is
then
just
he
not my
looks over at Jones, and he goes, "You haven't even met Chad."
Says that to Jonas?
Yeah,
Or
to
Jones?
Jones, yes.
Oh.
And Chad looks at you, and you realize you and Chad Jones, share a handful of features. And everything that Mr. Jones has said about your family is not necessarily dissimilar to how your parents treated you. And you have, in fact, not talked to your family in a good 20 years, and this kid is 16.
I need another drink.
Ah,
So I'm definitely going to spell one of them.
Give me a roll to chug both of your drinks and have no ill effects from it.
I'm gonna buy Chad those buffalo wings now.
Yeah, so Jinx is just like checked out of the whole conversation. It's just buying people shit at the bar.
I have failures. I just have failures.
You are so drunk. You are drunk, you are poisoned. But hey, guess what? Your poison and drunkenness has lowered your inhibitions to the point where, what have you always wanted to say to fucking Steve? Steve the oldest, Steve the perfect, Steve who always towed the line, Steve who, like, wanted to go play badminton, but instead his parents were like, no, you'll learn croquet and how to, like, brain someone with the mallet. Steve who never understood the scope of your dreams, who has no jewelry on him because there's no jewelry in his soul. You have the opportunity to just unload a torrent on Steve. So what you're gonna do is make a roll, and you're gonna actually get a +1 roll, 1 dice for the fact that you are so uninhibited.
Mark on Steve.
He has a mark on Steve because of, like, sibling trauma.
Even with my mark, I still only have one success.
So where does the success go?
Oh god. I'm gonna not get hurt because I don't need that in my life right now.
Good, because then you would have been just like an emotional train wreck of a human being.
I'm an emotional train wreck. Nobody has any respect for my craft.
Nope.
Steve is just here, and I just want to tell him that, like, all throughout college, I was having an affair with his partner at the time, and guess what? She likes jewelry. So, you know what? I went out on that one, and you can just take your smarmy ass back to snot-nosed Valerian and tell them that you're a dickhead.
Ooh, bird! Fucking got him.
Steve looks
Got
at
him.
you like,
Can I step in? I mean, crawl in, because I'm obviously very deep.
Absolutely, Coco. What do you have to say / do with the situation?
I'd like to use my one question, please.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Haven, what's the dark secret about your family? Please reveal it in speaking to your brother.
Oh my god. I have to now. I was a trust fund kid.
No!
Oh!
The worst.
I wanted to get into jewelry because it was something that they didn't have any respect for, but I always thought was just a wonderful thing to do, to make the world pretty. And all they care about is success and money and living it up in high society. And I can't live that life. I have too much of a flair for the dramatic.
And Steven stands up and goes, "That's for damn sure. We are trying to make a better world here. And you don't do that through trinkets. And you don't do that from poisoning people from afar. You get up in your problems and you fucking deal with them. And that's what our family's been doing the whole time. Triple the pay, bring him in. And you know who you are."
Okay.
What happens?
I want to know how other people react to the trust fund thing. Like, do they still trust me?
No. We're spies, silly.
They never trusted you in the first place.
Okay, all right.
Coco, what do? You have a real choice to make here right now.
Goodness. Oh gosh.
Triple the money.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, I'd really like to take them down and complete my contract. Using
Against me?
yeah. I'm on the floor anyway. And I still have that piece of glass, right?
Yep, you do.
Can I slash the back their tendons?
Can I swing my axe down to try to stop it?
So, Coco, how reluctant are you to do this? Are you like all in? I'm here for the money. Are you more like?
There's like a split second where I think about it.
But
I'm definitely somebody I'm old school. You complete your contract. You've got your ethics, but not they kind of are outside of. They're outside of the contract, right? Like that's what informs the contracts that I take. So this person contracted me, and I'm gonna complete it.
So Haven, you don't really get to react much to this because you are very drunk and very high and like very emotionally compromised at this point.
Oh my god.
But Coco pulls out her piece of her shard of glass and looks at it and then goes to strike you. And Jinx, attached still to your youngest brother, sees this and is going to try and interfere. So it is a person versus person roll. Mishkoa,
Do I have a mark against Coco?
You do.
I think I do. Okay.
Both of you have a mark against each other. Jinx, you have 2. Coco, you only have 1 against Jinx. Mm-hmm.
Can I roll both marks or just one?
You know what? Why can't you call in multiple marks?
Okay.
Why not? Let's make it fun.
Let me grab another D6.
So yeah, Coco, I assume you are calling in your mark against Jinx.
Yep, and I'd like to call in. Are we just doing the Jinx thing first, or then?
Well, so you're going against Haven, who is fairly, in gaming terms, flat-footed and doesn't really get a response at this moment.
Okay, in this moment. Okay.
Well, no, actually you can, because you are very drunk, so you can. It has to be within the context of you being drunk and emotionally compromised. But you're unpredictable at this point, so yes, Haven, you can also roll.
Okay.
You can't call in marks because you don't necessarily know what's going on behind you, though. So I'm gonna limit you to just the 3 die.
Okay, so am I rolling?
So we resolve that first, or?
We're doing it all at the same time. So,
Okay.
Coco, you're rolling 4. Jinx, you're rolling 5. Haven, you're rolling 3. Mishkoa, what are you doing?
Good question. Watching Haven just be an absolute drunken mess, this family stuff that's going on. I'm like hailing down a bartender so I can order a specific drink that will grant us access.
Oh. Okay.
So you're basically sitting back to be like, the fuck's going on? Like, oh, I'm just watching the soap opera play out in front of me.
Yes.
Okay.
I got 2 successes.
I got 1.
I also have 2 successes.
Okay. Coco?
I got 1, so I'm, yep.
So, Coco, where do you want to put your 1 success?
I'd like to get what I want.
Okay. Haven, where are you putting your successes?
I'm gonna get what I want, and I think in this case probably not get hurt.
Okay, so you have some shame.
I'll take some shame.
Which makes sense, and the shame's going straight to Mishkoa because he's the one who's observing everything.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm just gonna what I want is because I'm not actually aware of what's going on. I'm just gonna drunkenly stagger off to the side and time it perfectly just so that I'm out of glass swing miss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I want Coco's weapon to be knocked out of her hands, and I don't want to get hurt.
So you're also going to get some shame. Mishkoa's getting all of the shame because he's the one who's witnessing this, ridiculous brawl. So Mishkoa gets the Jinx shame, and the Coco shame, and the Haven shame. Coco, what are you specifically trying to do? Are you trying to subdue?
I'm trying to maim with the intent of capture.
So you're trying to capture, you think maiming is the main thing. So basically what happens is Coco has this moment of self-doubt where she's like, maybe I shouldn't, nah, I'm gonna, because triple the money, that's a lot of money. Haven, in their drunkenness, kind of staggers off to one side. You go to stab and hamstring them. Jinx comes down with their axe and shatters your glass, your piece of glass, and you no longer have that. And it sends you basically into the stool beside Haven. And Haven ends up just sprawled on a stool. The fuck is my life? My family is fucked up. No one likes my art. And my art's great. Both arts, my poison art and my jewelry art. And you end up with basically your arm wrapped around Haven, anchoring them to the seat that they're kind of trying to drunkenly slide off to one side as they descend into their just unhappiness. So you don't manage to maim them, but you do manage to subdue them in the sense that you are the only thing keeping them upright in the stool.
Got it.
And Jinx, you are still attached to Haven's youngest brother.
Oh my god.
Who's going by the name Chad Jones.
Chad Jones.
And Chad's looking at Haven like, you're the one that got away. And Jones kind of spins around, because you got 2 successes, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jinx. Sorry, Jinx.
Yeah. Yes, I got 2 successes.
And you don't get hurt, and you got what you want, but you got the mark.
Yeah.
Against you, yeah. So as Jinx is kind of in this cool battle pose with the axe with shattered glass all around her, Jones looks at you, Haven, as you're sitting there, and it's like, I downloaded the family archives. And has stars in his eyes because you are the member of your family that got away. And he very much is a good
example right now.
He's very much cut of your same cloth. And fuck Steven. And Steven sees all of this happen and is like, we spent such good money on you, to Coco. And then he goes, and everyone in the whole place, all of the patrons, the chanteurs, exit stage right. The band goes with her. The bartender who's cleaning a glass just ducks down and disappears. And the 10 other patrons turn around. And they're clearly Steven's people. And Steven looks at you and says, "It's time to come back to the fold." So, how does everyone feel about this? Mishkoa, this dude is very clearly an authoritarian asshole. Like, you've dealt with his kind before. But you also don't have to get involved in this. Coco, you have been insulted professionally, even though you're not sure if that triple pay still stands, but, like, he definitely insulted you professionally. Jinx, this is not very Healy life. I'm just gonna be quite
it's
honest.
not. I'm looking at Haven, I'm looking at Steve, I'm looking at Jones, Haven, Steve, Jones, and I'm like, I unhandcuff myself and just heely backwards.
And Haven, fuck Steve. Truly and completely.
I want to go for my nuclear option, which is I have a vial of like poison gas that'll disorient the fuck out of everyone. I want to try and kill it, and everyone. This one is potent enough that I can't have an immunity to it.
So, first off, I'm going to need Haven to make a roll to launch that with how much precision. And your I don't get hurt basically determines your immunity. And then Coco, Mishkoa, and Jinx, you're going to have to roll to see how affected you are by it. So go for it,
If
Haven.
they're also in play, can I call in marks against them?
Yes. Do you want them to experience the disorientation? You absolutely can.
Well, I definitely want Coco to, and I've got 3 marks against Coco, so I'll definitely do that.
Wait. I also have 3 marks against you, so let's stop using them.
Sure.
Because you're going to roll against the effect of the aerosolized gas.
Fine.
So, but Haven, here's the thing. If you pull out that mark against Coco, that means that you're going to put the epicenter at Coco.
I mean, Coco's like on the floor behind me. Right?
Yeah. So y'all are basically at the entrance of the bar, which is sort of at the top of the bar, and most of the rest of the basement is further down. So if you wanted the most potent form of the gas to happen near Steven and his goons, you would have to launch it away. If you want to specifically target Coco, you can call in that mark, but it specifically targets Coco.
Okay. Which direction, if we're at the entrance of the bar, which direction did Jinx heal in?
Jinx
Are you healing towards Steve?
Me, I'm backing away from this.
Yeah, so basically on one side of you is Coco, on the other side of you is Jones. Jinx is healing backwards towards Mishkoa. And your oldest brother and all of his minions are straight in front of you. It's basically like a big rectangle, and you're at the top, and your brother and his goons are at the bottom.
Alright. I guess I'm just gonna have to try and go for Steve.
So you're going to throw it at Steve. So you can't call in a mark at this point, but nobody can call in a mark to, like, it. This isn't a personal thing. You just have to roll 3.
All successes.
Excellent. So you are not affected by your poison, because, like, this is your specialty. What do you call it? What is the name that you gave it?
Oh, the name. Probably like green tree frog, I guess.
So the green tree frog poison envelops the room, and you are immune. What are the effects of the green tree frog poison?
Well, first of all, it's very opaque, so vision is already obscured because of that. It's also something that is like, if it doesn't knock you out, it's gonna like severely disorient. It's not lethal, but it's sort of basically like my I need to get out of here and like not have any objection, like any obstacles in my way. So if it works on everybody, it's gonna like basically turn them into unconscious peoples for at least a couple of minutes.
So essentially what that means is when you're fighting any of Steven's crew that's affected by this, they're at, so anything that is a 3 and above is a success now.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll one for every one of Steven's people. And so y'all roll your 3 to see if you're affected by this poison. If you
I
roll...
had 3 successes.
So you are not affected at all. What do you want from this, like, first initial surprise type round?
What do I want?
Do you want to get Jonas free? Do you want to run away? Do you want to help? What's the deal?
I kind of want to get Jonas out of this kind of like disagreement between his 2 siblings. Like, he's just a kid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Should I counter roll to that? Because Jonas is obviously very starry-eyed, and I think I want to, like, I'm still very invested in saving him, but
Well,
Jinx is obviously
so Jinx is pulling Jonas away from the fight in the gas.
fight, yeah.
So that would be
That's
in line with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like okay, so is the gas more concentrated towards like the basement part or
Yeah.
towards like the entrance?
Yeah.
So we're gonna pull back towards the entrance. Okay.
Mishkoa, Coco, how are you doing?
I had 1 success.
I had 2.
So where are you putting those successes?
Well, I thought this was for the effect of the gas.
Yes, but also you can do another thing. So, like, you could take yourself out of the gas. If you have multiple successes, you could take yourself out of the gas. You could actually be immune to the gas and keep going to fight. The not being immune or being immune to the gas would be a success in I don't get hurt.
Okay.
So, how many successes did you get?
I got 1 success. So,
You can also just be affected by the gas.
yeah.
So Mishkoa chooses to be affected by the gas.
Well, I'm gonna go. I don't get hurt on this one.
Okay. So you're immune from the gas, but you're hacking up a lung. That's or you don't get what you want. So you're kind of stuck where you are. You're kind of a target, hacking up this lung. And who are you? You're now next to Jinx. So we'll give Jinx the mark against you. So Jinx, you get another mark against Mishkoa. Coco.
Yeah, 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to use those. My story is that I feel shame.
So I'm going to give, because they're keeping an eye on you, Haven's gonna get that mark against you.
Yeah.
Half of Steven's crew are affected. So essentially what happens is half of them, they start attacking each other because they're so out of it. But Steven himself is not affected. So he takes a deep breath. He watches his men start fighting. And he looks at all of you. And he's like, no, I am the CEO. This shit doesn't happen to me. And he attacks. And he attacks first Haven because you are kind of out there. Jinx is shrunk back with little bro. Mishkoa, you've kind of hung back the whole time. And Coco, you're not really involved right now because your professional pride has been wounded by this dude who's supposedly still giving you money. So what are you
Well,
doing about that?
I fully expect him to pay because I fully expect to complete the contract, and if he backs out on it, well, the contract gets reverted to him. So the job, like my job, becomes then taking him out. So
Oh yeah, I mean, you can absolutely take your revenge. He can't pay if he's dead, and you're not sure if the family, like, you're not sure at this point. All of your dealings have been with him. So you're not actually sure if this is a personal contract or if, like, the family / the company as a whole took it on. But right now,
is that set in stone, or can I like know that?
oh, you can roll to know that. You can roll to, like, examine your thoughts and figure it out.
I'd like to run the odds in terms of like making the right choice as to whether to go after Steven or to complete my contract.
Okay, give me a roll. Roll 3 to see. Mishkoa, what are you doing? Are you going to help Haven? Because Haven's about to get, like, straight up attacked by his older brother, or their older brother.
No, I'm gonna let that be opportunity for me to try and take Jones.
So are you and Jinx working together to get to, like, spirit Jones away? You're still trying to save Jones?
Yeah.
You're trying to take... Jinx, are you also trying to take Jones? Are you trying to take Jones upstairs? What's going on?
I mean, like, I think Jones should still be here to, like, it's his family, you know what I mean? Like, he should see what's going on. But, like, I still want him to be, like, maybe behind some cover or something.
So, Mishkoa, you're trying to do what with Jones?
So they, well, I, like, anywhere, you know, it's turned out all of these, Steven's in there, and, like, it's just chaos. It's complete and utter chaos.
Yep.
So if we have to go back out upstairs, then that's what we gotta do.
So, the thing is, upstairs, you do know there's still that one agent who's rogue, who was calling him back up. So the question is, do you want to take cover with Jinx, or do you want to try and convince Jinx and Jones to go upstairs?
I will offer to run.
You can go scout. You can go scout upstairs to see what the layout is.
I'll offer to go scout.
Okay. Coco, what was your roll?
I got 2 successes and a failure.
Okay, where's that gonna hit?
So I think, I mean, I definitely get what I want, and I don't get hurt either. I'm just gonna go with the, you know.
So Haven's gonna get a mark on you.
That's fine.
But it makes sense because you realize that Steven's an asshole.
Oh no.
Steven's an asshole and was like, maybe never gonna pay you.
Well.
Like, you may have done the job, and then Steven was definitely the kind of person who would just straight up kill you instead of paying you, because the bottom line is what this family cares about. And Haven could have told you that if you'd asked at any point.
That could have been the question you'd asked. I would have told you.
So it could have, it didn't wound your professional pride, but yeah. So Haven knows that you done got, and that's where the mark comes from. So Jinx, roll to see if you get good cover for you and little baby boy, little precious summer child.
Okay.
And then Haven, you're gonna get into a massive fight with your big brother.
Okay. I got 1 success.
Where does the success go?
Okay, so let me know if this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
I want cover, but I want to see if this cover is in an area where I can, like, inspect around to see if there's a way to go underground. You know, like, it's like, if it's, like, behind the bar and if there's, like, a latch or something. But I'll and like if I only have one success and I can't do that, that's fine. But that's kind of like what I want to like have like a 2-in-1 for cover. So basically, I'll find cover, and I'll look in that cover to see if there's a way to go down. And then I will get embarrassed and get hurt.
So Mishkoa sees you kind of duck down, and it's kind of embarrassing. So Mishkoa, you
Not
have
very
another...
graceful.
No, not at all. You just kind of like flop, and you kind of drag Jones with you, and you do see it's halfway down the bar, kind of where the bartender's crouching and still polishing and cleaning all of the ware, like the glassware. You do in fact see what you assume is the trapdoor either to another storage basement, and you can presume the under tunnels that you've been looking for. But you would have to go find them. They're not near you necessarily.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah. Mishkoa, give me a roll to see how well you do scouting. What'd you get?
I got one success. I don't want to get hurt.
So you start going upstairs, and you are immediately met with a bunch of bullets because backup has arrived. They have essentially taken over upstairs. There is no way that you're getting out upstairs in any meaningful way. So you are trapped at the stairs, but you do get to pull out your signature weapon. And you do get to try and hold off everyone who is trying to come down the stairs. So that Haven, this is simultaneously the moment that you have been dreading your whole life, but also you've been working for your whole life. Because your oldest brother, who had so many chances to not be a dick, and never took one of them, not a one, is coming at you, fists flying.
He's just using fists.
Well, yeah, because this is personal. This is absolutely personal. He wants to do this up close and in charge. And please do remember, he referred to poisoning as the coward's way of murder.
He did, which is why I want to pull both of my guns out.
Well, you actually technically have 3 guns.
Oh, yes. I know.
Yeah, so what do you do? How do you respond to this?
Yeah, I'm gonna just, like, he's still, like, semi-distant away from me and has to, like, move around a bunch of things, like, because obviously he's in a bar still, and there's...
Right, what he's going to do is he's going to shortcut over all of the tables or whatever, and he's going to basically try and do 1, 2, 3 tables, jump at you, and you're going to get into, like, a brotherly fist fight that he will, of course, ultimately win because he's the older brother.
But I want to shoot him.
Yes, so that's what you're going to do, is you're going to Indiana Jones him.
I absolutely am. I am 100% Indiana Jones him.
So give me that roll.
2 successes, 1 failure. Oh, actually, 7 to 3. I got the extra not on Steve though, right? It was just on the minion.
No, there's no extra on Steve because he's not affected by your gas. He also, I just rolled for him to make this fair. He got 2 successes and 1 failure.
Okay. Well, somebody's going to get an arc on me, but I'm not going to get hurt, and I'm going to get what I want, which is to shoot Steve.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. You shoot Steve once in the shoulder, and he barrels into you and knocks you down. And y'all go, like, sprawling on the ground, and it kind of jars you. Where are your 2 successes in? You get
getting what I want and not getting hurt.
Not getting hurt. So, yeah, we'll see if it matters who gets the mark on you. It's probably Coco, because she's very invested in this. But she also has a lot of marks on you right now. Because she's been keeping an eye on you the whole time. So yes, you both crash into each other. Steve is hurt, but also he sends you sprawling to the ground. So you're not actually hurt by this, but you are on the ground and you're staring at your brother's like very angry face. Coco, how do you feel about this? What do you do?
I would like, because I now have recognized that Steve's a dick. Steve's probably never going to pay me.
Nope.
I would like to use the opportunity of this fight to pickpocket him, to find something on his body and as casually or like surreptitiously as possible, find some kind of restitution and get the fuck out of here. It's not my thing.
Okay, go for it. Give me the rolls. Tell me how well you do this. You're basically going to try and loot his body before it's dead, before Haven has managed to fuck it up.
I got 2 successes. I'll get a little hurt doing it, but as long as I get what I want and I, stand by my choices.
Okay. So you basically, they go flying by and you do the old woman thing of like, oh, 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 oh. And they crash, like Steven in the process of crashing into Haven kind of like takes you out a little bit at the ankles and hits your bad ankle. So now you really like, you can do that limp thing where you can put the barest amount on that ankle, but like it's real messed up. You cannot move fast. But interestingly, what you'll have from Steven is an access card.
Ah, yes.
And if you remember, Steven is the CEO.
Oh, I remember. Don't worry.
Yeah. So you just
Uh-huh.
that disappears into your voluminous shawls and like various things.
Yeah. Since I have been crashed into, am I like still upright?
Yes, you are, but you're basically hopping on one foot to move anywhere.
Can I play dead?
Do you want to Yeah, you can just like sprawl artfully underneath a table or something.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
So give me a deception roll to see how well that you essentially play possum.
Yeah, 1 failure.
Where does the failure go?
Shame, for sure.
Sure. So yes, you do this and you go sprawling, and if anybody looks at you, they just assume like, oh, this old lady got like caught up in the mayhem.
Oh, right.
This old lady got.
Yeah, she got. It's real bad. Like, how dare you kill this old lady? It will definitely turn public opinion against Steven if it ever got publicized, which it's not gonna, because like we've heard about Steven's family.
Worth the shame.
Mishkoa.
Yes.
You're still holding down, like you're just shooting at people up the stairwell. Give me a roll to see how well you're holding the line.
2.
2 successes.
So this is like you're holding the line against an authoritarian garbage monster. What are you doing? Is this like your heroics moment? Are you gonna rush up the stairs? Are you just gonna continue to hold the line? What do you do?
I am going to continue to hold the line.
Okay.
Yes. Because I'm trusting that Jinx knows or will find a way to keep this person safe.
Okay. So Mishkoa has successfully fended off any kind of help coming. Jinx, what's your plan with baby bro?
Me and little JJ, me and Jones, we're gonna try to make our way down into the tunnels.
Okay, give me a roll to see how well you do that.
Okay. I got one success.
Where does the success go?
We are going to go down into the tunnels. I will hurt myself and I will be embarrassed.
You will. What is your exit line down into the tunnels?
Okay. I'm going to look at Mixcoatl. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Mishkoa.
Mishkoa. I'm going to look at Mishkoa and I'm going to be like, your trust in me is well placed. And then I'm going to eat shit as I try to trip down.
Love it.
Down the little trapdoor you pointed out.
So yes, you all see Jinx say, "Your trust in me is well placed," and just like steps into the trapdoor, forgetting that it's there, and just disappears. Haven,
But Jones comes with me, right?
Yeah. Jones has either preceded you or followed you down. Probably follows you down because otherwise he would get landed upon, and I don't want to roll for him potentially getting hurt. And Haven, you are wrestling with your oldest brother. Fuck this guy. He's like
Fuck this guy. I want to break his nose.
Go for it.
I'm wearing my rings. I basically have brass knuckles on both hands.
Yep. Are your rings poisoned in any way? So if you make contact, is he going to be poisoned?
I don't think I can pull that off. No, I think he just gets a bloody nose.
Okay.
I can't poison jewelry on my person constantly because apparently I'm already very susceptible to that.
You do have a tendency to poison yourself, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's why your reputation precedes you.
So go for it. Break his nose.
One success, 2 failures. I'm gonna break his nose and get hurt. And
so you break his nose and also your fingers. Because your jewelry pushes back equally both ways. So you do that, and he goes, ow! 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 Like, my because your brother is also very vain. And, like, starts poking at his, like, why, not in the face. It was, I'm gonna tell Mom.
That's the moneymaker right there.
oh,
What is your response to this?
I want to kick him in the nuts.
Roll to kick him in the nuts.
Different kinds.
2 successes.
One for each nut.
Yes.
Good.
All right, so I'm going to be a bit ashamed because, I mean, this whole situation, I don't know how I can get ashamed because this whole situation is just bringing up everything I didn't want to come up.
Yeah, no, you're airing the family dirty laundry to people who are strangers, but also not.
Yeah. All right, so he's I got him in the nuts.
So you nail Steven in the nuts. And, like, testicular torsion is a thing that he has now experienced. And it's not good. And it's not good for him, like, having future generations of your family. So you get an exit line, because he's not getting up. He's not following you. You get to get away clean, courtesy of Jinx, ushering your, like, darling, apparently genius baby brother down into these tunnels. And you essentially get the best, like, fully encapsulating exit line / there will be a sequel to this movie, fuck you, Steven line. How do you go out? Other than kicking Steven in the nuts, which he completely deserves.
Looks like you've got a nut allergy.
Man, I was really Family Jewels related.
But even better because it was unexpected.
Hey, come on.
So you take out the family jewels and you say, Stephen, looks like you have a nut allergy. And you just start giggling uncontrollably as you do like a cool ass swipe over the bar straight down into the tunnels. And this is gonna keep you warm at night for so long. Like man, Christmas came early for you. And not for your brother.
Yeah, that's the best present Steven could have given you.
Yep. And Steven is left like writhing on the floor, calling for your mom, who, let us remember, is an awful, cold, callous human being. And is definitely not coming. Mishkoa, you basically have seen all this happen. You know that like y'all are actually escaping through these tunnels. Do you follow them? What do you do?
I'm gonna follow them down.
Cool. Give me basically a dramatic exit roll, and then tell me how you exit this situation.
4. I'm gonna use one of my favorite memes here. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
And you actually do like with your big fuck off gun that is like your favorite. You actually do like a full flip over the bar, straight down like a diver, but the opposite way, down to the hole. And you're like, all right, let's go.
Oh my god.
And you have like a full family here. You have a dad, you have a cool aunt, and you have the like actual
Sibs. Bio-sibs.
Bio-nibs. Your nibbling is there. Coco, you like crack one eye open and you look around and you're like, man, this was a shit show. Like, this is one of the most shit showy things that you've experienced in your professional career.
Well, I have two things in my back pocket, right?
You do. You have multiple things.
I have the access card, and my Critty, who has been tasked with getting me the intelligence that I need in the right time.
Oh, for sure. And in the sequel movie of this action movie, you're set up really well to service yourself.
My own little revenge that nobody has any feelings about whatsoever.
Yep. So Coco gets away clean, her cover mostly intact because she's pretty sure that the 3 of her Stitch and Bitch who got away, they're not coming back for a while, and very pointedly. Haven, Jinx, Coco, y'all managed to get away. You can go to the airport or the harbor, either one. But you get away clean, and you get away with your genius little sweet summer child who does shit on dares and like maybe doesn't have common sense.
Who needs it?
What
Who does
16-year-old?
need it?
Not what 16-year-old boy does, right?
I mean, that's really what 16-year-old does, period, end of story. But like most of them can't build nuclear bombs from scratch because someone dares them.
Well, I'm a little proud of him, to be honest.
Yes.
I'm a little proud.
You should be. Like, very much like of your, like, cut of the same cloth. So, thank you all for playing. I hope that you very much enjoyed it. If we want to actually do part 2 of this,
I would love that.
Yes.
This is really fun.
We will have to discuss the future adventures of the Kraft Kata, Stitch and Bitch.
I might have different tattoos.
I mean, what Master of Disguise wouldn't?
to illustrate the passage of time.
Exactly.
Have a change in appearance.
Thank you all for being
like
here.
I'd love to have the chance to like redeem myself and not spend the entire time being so
High on your own supply? Oh, well, This was wonderful, even if we all spin it like real in our cups. We'll see you next time. Bye.